Wally Downs talking with Ian Dennis, Graham Taylor alongside Ian Dennis this afternoon. Do you think West Ham will stay up, Graham?
I think if they win this game, they definitely will. And I think, Mark, they'll win this game.
Do you?
I do. I have. Sometimes you know yourself, you feel it in the water, you come in, you have that gut feel. Ever since I set out to come here, I've had the feeling that I'm going to see a surprise result. And it's something that just gets in the gut of your stomach. I don't know why, but that is just my feeling.
As I said to Gordon Strachan earlier, a lot of West Ham fans are putting their turnaround down to Thomas Hitzlsperger coming into that midfield. Is that something you would agree with, or are there other reasons?
No, I mean, there will be other reasons, but it can be looked at Thomas. We had Thomas at Aston Villa. He'd been brought in, and he had to appear or be named as substitute in 10 games. Otherwise, he got a free transfer. And when I saw his ability, and particularly that left foot, we got those 10 games so that he couldn't get a free transfer, and we offered him another contract. Thomas is a very good player. Not only, he draws attention with that left foot power of his, but he also keeps things moving well. He's linked in, and there's no doubt about it. Since he's got over his injury and come into this West Ham side, West Ham have performed better.
And I suppose, as well as Hitzlsperger there's no other team, would you say, in the bottom half of the Premier League who have the striking options that West Ham have?
I think you're right there as well. I just think, these are important games. There's no doubt about it. As the two teams comes out, you can just feel the West Ham supporters getting in behind their team. So, yes, it will be seen as a surprise result, but it's how you finish the end of the season. If you're on and up, then you can get out of those relegation positions.
I think Alex Ferguson will be happy that he's sat in amongst people chanting "We're forever blowing bubbles."
He's got a frown on his face. That's unusual.
Do you think that'll affect Manchester United at all? I mean, he's still allowed contact with his staff and with the team, isn't he? So a touchline ban isn't.
I have rather strong views which would upset Sir Alex again. I think the things that's got to do, it's not a touchline ban. You come up here, you've got your contact. I mean, I do know they are able to ban you from the ground, from actually not having a presence at the ground. And I think until we get to that, if we feel, and I'm not talking about Sir Alex now, I'm talking about any manager that really crosses that line, to give him a touchline ban is neither here nor there, I'll tell you. But to actually say you are banned from the ground, that's a different matter.
Sri Lanka, very quickly, 1-4-7 for 3 in the 33rd over in Mumbai in the Cricket World Cup final against India. Now on 5 Live Sport, let's see if the feeling in Graham Taylor's water is correct. Are West Ham going to beat Manchester United? Alongside Graham, Mike Ingham, and first of all, Ian Dennis.
And I wasn't paying attention earlier, but I suppose if you would have said, I don't know, late December, West Ham United to stay in the Premier League, you would have got a funny look in the supermarket, wouldn't you?
There's no doubt about that.
Thanks for not paying any attention, though. That's very kind.
That's all right. I was engrossed in conversation with Mr. Taylor. Right. And as you know, he's captivating when he's talking to you, and I just heard the words Ian Dennis, and I thought, blimey, that's my cue.
Right, well, I'm looking forward to the second half of this commentary with Mike Ingham.
Anyway, the team news, just in case you missed it, is that West Ham are unchanged, and Manchester United make 5 changes. Kuszak for Van der Sar, Fabio for Brown at right back, Vidic for the suspended Evans, Gibson for Hernandez, and Park for Nani. So Robert Green is in goal for West Ham, Jakobsen, Da Costa, Upson and Bridge across the back, the 3 in midfield of Parker, Noble, Hitzlsperger, then O'Neill to the right, Demba Ba will probably drop off towards the left, and Carlton Cole up front. And Manchester United, it would appear, are going to try and match like for like. Kuszak in goal, a back 4 of Fabio, Vidic, Smalling and Everett at left back, Park, Carrick and Gibson, Valencia, Giggs and Rooney. If there's any change to that, we'll let you know as the game unfolds. West Ham will be wearing their claret and blue shirts and white shorts. Manchester United, a change strip of their white tops with a red and black trim and the black shorts. But this is a massive game for both ends of the table. I mean, remember the Paul Daniels programme, every second counts? Well, here we're into a question of every point counts.
Well, there's no doubt about that as well. As I said earlier before, the kick-off, that Manchester United, they're in that position, they're excellent at getting points, getting wins when they don't play well, and they do that obviously in a number of games. But it's almost been like all of the season this year, even at the very start. When Manchester United had a run of the real Manchester United, perhaps 1 or 2 games, that's all this season. Where do we find them as we come to the closing stages? Top of the table.
And as Mark had said earlier on when we were talking about Manchester United, they return here to Upton Park, scene of their biggest defeat of the season. It was their first defeat of the season when they were beaten 4-0 in the League Cup. That was obviously a night game. Here it's a clear afternoon in East London. There are patches, little pockets of blue sky, but it is a bright afternoon, weak sunshine, quite warm actually, a little bit bordering on a little bit humid inside the ground, certainly, unless it's just our commentary position here. But West Ham, with their anthem of "I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles" reverberating around Upton Park, not of course for much longer. Famous old stadium, and they hope to see their upward momentum continue as Lee Mason, the referee, gets this game underway, and West Ham in the first half will play from right to left. And Bridge straight away looks for a ball up towards Carlton Cole. Certainly Chris Smalling will have to be strong as Manchester United clear, and Da Costa gets the ball quickly out towards Jakobsen over on that far side, the right. And Jakobsen will go long with a diagonal ball over the head of Chris Smalling this time. Hitzelsberg has made a forward run, putting pressure on Fabio, hooks it into the penalty area, cleared away by Smalling, only as far away as Bridge. Good strong start this already by West Ham here on 5 Live. Hitzelsberger's low cross strikes Gibson and will run behind the back of Carlton Cole, whose appeals for a corner were in vain in the end from referee Lee Mason, but I think he had a good shout because it clearly struck Gibson.
Like you, I thought it would come off Gibson as well, but nobody's made much complaint at all, have they? So perhaps you and I were wrong for the first time.
No, it definitely struck 28 Darren Gibson. That was a corner. This is Everett on that far side, the left. Very important though, isn't it, when you talk about momentum, and speaking to Wally Downs about belief, and he said that in the second half of the season things have changed, players are back, you can't bottle confidence, but it's amazing how it can transform a group of players.
Well, there's no doubt about that, when you start to think positively, you start to think you can do things instead of worrying about them.
And Gary O'Neill was making good ground on that far side, the right, is cut out by Nemanja Vidic. Manchester United have spent the majority of this opening 2 minutes having just to deal with West Ham's attacks, and Sir Alex Ferguson during the week was bemoaning the international games, and of course not happy with his players being here, there and everywhere, and I'm sure that's why Hernandez is on the bench as well, not only because of mindful of Chelsea in the Champions League in midweek, but also the fatigue factor when he considered that the Mexican international has played 135 minutes, so what's that, 2.25 hours of international football with all the travelling through the time zones. But during that period, as Valencia picks up this ball on the right hand side, Fabio joins the attack, looks towards Park. Park will cross, and with a corner, Vidic actually made a surprise return for Serbia against Estonia on Tuesday. Didn't play against Northern Ireland, and I just wonder if actually Vidic has benefited from that 90-minute run out on Tuesday after missing the previous 2 games with a calf problem, and that could be a plus point for Manchester United during the international break. The ball hasn't returned from the Bobby Moore stand away to our right as Ryan Giggs waits to take this corner kick for Manchester United. The Barclays Premier League, the first of our commentaries here on 5 Live Sport, and in fact the ball isn't coming back. Oh, now it is. When Ryan Giggs turns, the young lad just waits, rather sheepishly throws it back. Little cheeky grin now etched on his face, and Ryan Giggs has to collect it, so that's why we have a slight delay in proceedings as the sun continues to shine. So 0-0, and this will be Manchester United's first attack of the game. Giggs just rolls the ball with his left foot into the quadrant. Wayne Rooney waits inside the 6-yard area. Giggs strikes it left-footed towards the far post. Vidic was there, as was Smalling, and in the end it was Robert Green with the left palm turning it over for a corner kick. Smalling did well.
A little bit of movement by Smalling and Vidic as they're preparing for the corner to be taken. Smalling actually stands in front of Vidic, preventing the West Ham players get to him, and then at the very last minute they break, and he got to the back post there and got a header in.
Giggs runs from right to left. It's a successive corner just on the other flank. It's an outswinger from Ryan Giggs. Smalling again meets it with his head, but he was a good 12 yards out from goal, and he more or less directed it from where it had come from and out for a goal kick. But certainly I was at White Hart Lane a fortnight ago for the early kick-off when West Ham played Spurs. Robert Green then made several fine saves, and despite not featuring in the second half of that friendly against Ghana on Tuesday, he's certainly continuing his good form.
Yeah, and all credit to him. speaks very well, got on with his job. Yes, come out of South Africa, reputation tainted a little bit, but I think he's handled it very, very well.
The voice of the former England manager Graham Taylor with us here on 5 Live at Upton Park. Still no goals as Vidic will clear. Collected by Giggs in the centre circle. Looked for the early release, actually struck Jakobsen in the face. Jakobsen is still feeling the effects of that as Noble picks up the loose ball and out to Gary O'Neill. Goes behind him towards Jakobsen. Jakobsen closed down by Wayne Rooney. Will go long down that far side, the West Ham right. Headed away by Vidic. Good strong header. And out for a West Ham throw. Just over the halfway line. West Ham 0, Manchester United 0. 5 minutes played. As Noble takes the throw on the right, goes back towards Da Costa. This is an unchanged West Ham United side after that 0-0 draw. Little fortunate against Tottenham. Certainly appeared to be overrun in the first half, but then as the game wore on, they grew in confidence. Had chances themselves. As Carlton Cole has gone down, feeling the effects of a knock to his ankle. Play continues, and then Bridge this time is caught by Fabio, and Bridge is floored. And almost simultaneously both West Ham players get to their feet. Carlton Cole though is hobbling and struggling. Bridge happy to continue, but it's a free kick to West Ham. Graham Taylor.
Yeah, the game, West Ham started and moved it about quite well. Manchester United had a little spell, but it's like all games, it's just settling down into sort of a pattern whereby you'll be able to judge exactly who's going to take control of it. Neither side has done that yet.
Hitzelsberger with a swinging free kick, and Kuszczak claimed it well. Underarm throw out, and Evra will take it out of defence for Manchester United. Up towards Giggs, a little bit more urgency, a bit more pace about that attack as they play the ball to the feet of Wayne Rooney, and Wayne Rooney glides this ball skimming across the surface. Valencia back towards Rooney, cut out by Da Costa, running back into his own penalty area. Bit more purpose about that attack from Manchester United.
Certainly. I also think if Manchester United can get the ball out to Valencia, it will be a big battle between him and Wayne Bridge.
Significant, I think, for the return of Park as well for Manchester United. Unused substitute against Bolton as Bridge breaks up that move, and now here is Parker. Parker looking towards O'Neill through the middle, but it was intercepted by Vidic. Out towards Evra, forward now to Giggs, plays a short diagonal ball to Park. Of course, he returned from the Asian Cup duty and then had that injury as well. So actually Ji-Sung Park hasn't played for Manchester United since Boxing Day against Sunderland. He missed 18 matches before his return to the matchday squad against Bolton, and in pursuit of a ball it runs away from him for the South Korean, and it'll be a West Ham throw over on that far side. But his return, particularly for European games and the big matches, Sir Alex Ferguson favours him with his industry.
He's a manager's player. Whenever you know what you're going to get, you're going to get completely everything from him. Yes, at times you might say, well, technique, what does he do? But work, he does very well.
Shot comes in from Carrick. It's a long way out from goal. Certainly 30-35 yards out against his former club, of course. Michael Carrick, over 150 appearances during his time at West Ham. Didn't find the net on too many occasions during his career here. Just 6, and that one was off target with his long-range drive. But remember, Green with an important save early on from a Smalling header, the only really worthwhile opportunity for either side. 8 minutes played and still no goals. The ball bounces in the centre circle, and Noble just gets a little deft touch with his head to find Jakobsen. Bridge stabs it forward, the left back, only to Gibson. Gibson looking towards Park. It was blocked by Upson. Good defending by Upson. Noble flicks it forward. Smalling coming out of defence, takes it high on the chest, runs in towards Noble, and is adjudged to have been fouled by Noble, and that will be a free kick to Manchester United, just right of the centre circle.
Yeah, high foot there by Noble, got it across his chest. Referee right on the spot.
Gibson just waits on the edge of the centre circle. Park, who's playing behind that front three of Giggs and Rooney and Valencia, tries to get forward at every opportunity. Gibson is doing that now. Rolls it out towards Evra. Evra on that left side, up against Gary O'Neill. Cross on the run, headed then behind by Jakobsen for a corner kick, which Giggs will take. Manchester United just starting to slowly but surely exert some influence in this game. 9 minutes played. Gentle atmosphere though. It's quite sedate actually, the atmosphere. I thought it would have been a little bit more vibrant around Upton Park for this early kick-off. Bearing in mind West Ham's recent form, particularly at home. Giggs then with a corner on that far side. Again, it's the outswinger. Easily dealt with by the head of De Costa on the edge of the penalty area. Collected by Gibson, who has time to turn and play a ball in the air. Headed away by Upson. Carrick tangles in the air with Hitzelsberger. Breaks towards Carlton Cole. Runs towards the halfway line and then retreats. And then his back pass, about 6 yards inside his own half towards Rob Green. Put Green under pressure from Rooney, who closed him down. As a result, the ball has been picked up by Valencia. Valencia's now right corner of the penalty area. It's a dangerous ball into the box. De Costa did well with a header away. But all of that seemed to come as the ball then is ordered over the top. And Cole could be in here. Manchester United's defence was nowhere. Handball, was that against Evra? Yes, it was. Carlton Cole, I thought the opportunity had been lost. He let the ball settle. He tried to lift it over the head of Evra. It struck the hand of Evra. And referee Lee Mason had no hesitation. He was helped out by the assistant referee on the far side. Good refereeing, good decision.
Well, I mean, Manchester United there on the attack and then hit by a ball, I think, from the keeper, or I think it was the keeper that hit the ball straight on, was it? Or Hitzelsberger. Hitzelsberger hits this ball. End result, penalty.
Mark Noble in the penalty area away to our left, up against Thomas Kuszczak. What a significant moment this could be at both ends of the table in the Barclays Premier League. Noble runs up now, right-footed, scores, sends the goalkeeper the wrong way. Kuszczak dives to his left. The ball nestles in the bottom right-hand corner. There is continued hope for West Ham, and it's a setback for Manchester United. West Ham 1, Manchester United 0.
I was just saying earlier there, I mean, he put the penalty away extremely well, but Hitzelsberger must have hit a 40-50 yard ball, and then I don't know what happened to the Manchester United defence. They just seemed to disappear. And then Carlton Cole's going through it, and he seems to be struggling to actually control it. Gets up and gets the handball. So many things change so much, you know, to go your way, because you never would have thought that at all. But he dispatched the penalty extremely well and very confidently.
Well, I remember Mark Noble when I think it's fair to say, he really came of age about 4 years ago when West Ham were fighting relegation. And once again, the club's longest serving player, along with players such as Scott Parker, leading by a fine example. And you can forget your sedate atmosphere now inside Upton Park. West Ham United lead Manchester United by a goal to nil. Talk about capital gain, not only for West Ham point of view, but also what this could do for Arsenal and indeed Chelsea for the title race. A long way to go, of course, but this could really open up the title race. West Ham lead Manchester United 1-0. 5 Live sport at Upton Park in the sunshine. Test of the character of Manchester United now, isn't it?
Well, it certainly is. I mean, the way the game had started, it was slow, really. You're not too certain who was in charge. But gradually Manchester United were coming into the game. And then they said, one just swift kick upfield, you've got a penalty, and the whole atmosphere changes.
Let's check and see what is happening in the Cricket World Cup final. Of course, India against Sri Lanka in Mumbai with Mark Pugach.
Well, it's Sri Lanka in the ascendancy. India just feels as if they're letting this drift a little bit, Ian. 171 for 3, 13 overs to go. Jayawardene has 60, Samarawira has 19. These two have put on 49, 13 overs to go. Sri Lanka 171 for 3.
Thanks, Mark. And commentary continues on 5 Live Sports Extra. Should say as well, still no goals at Ellen Road. Leeds United against Nottingham Forest in that 12:45 kickoff in the Empower Championship. And in a short while, in the next couple of minutes at the KC Stadium, Hull against Millwall will be getting underway. Valencia for Manchester United, right hand side. Valencia works in the cross, aimed towards Giggs, cut out well by Upson. West Ham are defending well. 13 minutes played. Both Upson and De Costa have been on their toes in these early stages here, but it's a corner kick to Manchester United. The league leaders are behind. Giggs to take the corner kick. Rooney again waits inside that 6-yard area. Parks on the edge of the 6-yard box. Carrick, Vidic and Smalling. Tight cluster of the three as Giggs swings over the corner, too deep over the head of Smalling, who almost in fact puts his hand to say, I'm sorry, I didn't read that one correctly, and it runs out for a goal kick.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he didn't really. He should have drifted away and come in so he could come on the ball, because It was deliberately played there by Giggs, and there's a misunderstanding.
Well, that feeling in your water may well be right.
Yeah, we'll wait and see.
If it is, remember, I'll get the lottery numbers off you later. Here is Green. Green for the goal kick for West Ham United, right-footed. Smalling beats Cole in the air. It falls to the feet of Valencia. Back, of course, after that lengthy absence during the part of the season, after a broken ankle and ligament damage. He missed 7 months, of course, Antonio Valencia. Here he is with a through ball towards Rooney, but Da Costa was tight behind Rooney, rolls past him, and Jakobsen, the right back, is told by Da Costa to go back. Working well as a unit, talking to each other, good communication at the back, and then Green towards Upson, who's in no real hurry to bring the ball forward. The white shirts of Manchester United eventually go towards him and press, and that is Park. And the long ball downfield is headed away by Smalling, and Fabio, the left back, playing at right back towards Smalling, who sliced his clearance high and drops out of play for a West Ham throw, and Bridge will take it quickly. West Ham lead by a goal to nil. Hitzelsperger. The ball cut out though by Fabio as it was aimed towards Carlton Cole. Bridge plays it forward. Fabio again will clear. Headed in field by Park. Laid off by Rooney. Carrick, he was looking for the ball towards Park. He would have been unmarked. It exploited the gap left by Bridge, but it was blocked by Parker. Typical Scott Parker. Right place, right time for West Ham. But they've worked the ball around Parker this time. And Rooney out towards the right hand side to Valencia, offering the width. Valencia cuts inside. Then on the outside of Bridge. Valencia's low ball, dangerous ball, could have gone anywhere. Da Costa's attempted clearance could have easily gone in the back of the net. As it was, it's gone behind for a corner kick. Excellent play by Manchester United, but they still trail 1-0.
Yeah, and give Da Costa credit there, because if he's come across and he's had to go on his backside, getting the ball out, that could have gone anywhere. It could have gone up into the back of the net, but he's made a good contact in it, put it out for a corner. It was good defending.
Ryan Giggs then for the fourth corner for Manchester United already of this game. 16 minutes played, still trailing though by a goal to nil. Giggs works it then to Valencia, 30 yards out from goal. Fabio joins the attack, the right back. It's a poor cross though off his weaker foot, his right. Comes out towards Gibson, couldn't strike it first time, squares it. Then the ball is back out towards Fabio. That's a better delivery. Smalling has stayed in the attack, tees up Rooney, couldn't take it with him. His first touch, he wanted to drag the ball with him, then for maybe a shot with his left foot, it wouldn't go with him. In the end, it just set up, and West Ham were able to clear. On the counter-attack, Carrick sliding has caught Hitzelsperger. The referee says no free kick. Thought there was every chance that should have been a foul. But the referee, Lee Mason, who was spot on with the spot kick that has led to the goal, says play can continue, and West Ham are back in possession. And in position is Parker. Here is Cole. Gibson, back to Carrick. That was a good interchange of passing, short and sharp. Everett on the halfway line, the left back. Gibson plays it forward towards Rooney. Good movement by Wayne Rooney into the penalty area. Rooney towards the byline. Came off Da Costa sliding in. He got the shout there from Darren Candidly, Mason. I think he was going to give the goal kick, but I've got to say, the match instruction that the referee has at the minute with his two assistants is working well. A for the penalty and also that decision, because it's a corner kick which Giggs will take. It'll be an out-swinging corner on that far side, the left. West Ham have everybody back bar Demba Ba. In it comes, again, met well by the head of Da Costa. This is Gibson running back towards the centre circle in the West Ham half. He's allowed to turn. Picks out Vidic, stabs it back towards Carrick. Carrick to Smalling. Midway through the West Ham half, this is Gibson. Diagonal ball forward along the ground towards Rooney. Right side of the penalty area. Rooney's cross. Park goes for the header. Giggs could profit. Pokes it wide, and in fact there was a touch, and an important touch behind for a corner kick. Manchester United are threatening.
I think it was Da Costa that got that in there as he laid on the ground, and it looked as if Manchester United might get it. He kicked it out, got in there first. Result corner.
And the corner's been taken short. Giggs to Rooney. Giggs then out towards Valencia. Valencia turns. Can't get it onto his left foot for the shot. Has to find Gibson, and Gibson's shot is high and it's over the top, and it's for a goal kick. So here West Ham still lead by a goal to nil as we go to Ellen Road and Ian Brown.
Yeah, 13 minutes played, tense and scrappy in the Championship here. Leeds nil, Nottingham Forest nil, a free kick apiece. First of all for Leeds, Gradle tamely over the bar. Then for Nottingham Forest, just outside the box, Lewis McGugan drilled it low into a good Leeds defensive wall. So still Leeds nil, Nottingham Forest nil.
Thank you, Ian. The last time I was at Ellen Road, Steve Bruce was there. He was watching his son Alex, and Steve Bruce will be one of the guests for Jonathan Ledyard tomorrow on Sports Week between 8:30 and 9:30. His other guests include Rafa Benitez and Brian Robson, who of course we wish well as a shot comes in from Denver Bar straight at Kushak with the news of Brian Robson obviously in his treatment with cancer. So we wish Brian well with that. Here at Upton Park, West Ham 1, Manchester United 0, and it's a good game, Graham Taylor.
Well, certainly, I think just the prospect of the game, the leaders here, a side looking to get out or keep out of the relegation area, I think that in itself, gives that interest. And then when, of course, the home side gets that lead, what is the side, what is the potential champions doing? And whilst they're still not playing anything for me like a Manchester United side are. They still don't have that real sort of sharpness and quickness about them.
We've got some defending to do now as the ball is up with Denver Bar, and Denver Bar for Carlton Cole. Flag's raised on that far side. It was raised early. Now it's spotted. But again, it was good penetration, wasn't it? The idea was right from West Ham.
There's no doubt about it, that when they've had the opportunity to get at quickly at the Manchester United defence, they've been very good at it.
And their home form, you can't help but feel for West Ham in their fight to survive that it's the home form that's going to be key, and they came into this game with those back-to-back victories against Liverpool and Stoke in the Premier League, and the point against Spurs was an unexpected bonus. Even if they got the point here, I think the feeling around Upton Park was it's another bonus. If they get the 3, wow, what an impact that could have, and also a negative effect on their relegation rivals, because not many people maybe, as the ball is played forward to Denver Bar, flag stays down this time, although their relegation rivals will be hoping that they come unstuck against the league leaders. They wouldn't have had that feeling in the water that you had, Graham.
Just at the moment, though, every now and again that feeling goes. You know what I mean? It's every time Manchester United go forward, that water feeling disappears.
Ball from Vidic towards Giggs. Noble, who converted that penalty that separates the two sides. This is Valencia, just over the halfway line to Gibson, back inside the Manchester United half. Carrick to Smalling, plays it forward, comes off the boot of Scott Parker, who I've got to say was terrific last week against Wales. Quite well, one of the man of the match for me in that International Millennium Stadium. And then afterwards, the way that he spoke with such dignity about his father, who had passed away 24 hours previously against Spurs. You're almost left in awe of him as an individual.
It was a very dignified approach, wasn't it? And certainly there's a lot more people, having seen that performance against Wales, are aware of how good a player is in that holding role.
4.5 years he had out of the international scene. That was his 5th cap. He's looking to make up for lost ground, and they're certainly making up ground as far as the relegation fight to survive is concerned. Down at the bottom of the table, West Ham, they are one of the form teams. 1 defeat in 7 since January. They're leading by a goal to 0. We're midway through the first half here on 5 Live. West Ham 1, Manchester United 0. And to take you through to half time, here's Mike Ingham.
Well, thank you, Ian. As West Ham once more break up Manchester United in midfield, but Park wins it back again. Typical Park determination, and then he's fouled from behind by Hitzelsberger. Lee Mason will just have a quiet word, I think, with the German. Perhaps a last warning. Free kick to Manchester United. I always thought, Graham, waking up this morning, that if Manchester United were able to end this day still 5 points clear, the top of the Premier League, they'd really be on course. And this is quite a test for them now, isn't it?
It is. I mean, the thing is, it isn't, there's little bits about Manchester United, but they're nowhere near the Manchester United that we know.
No, this was the day really for them, and they still may stand up and show themselves to be true champions-elect, but they're trailing here 1-0 to West Ham, and here comes Carlton Cole now for West Ham, teasing United defenders. It's another penalty. Vidic has been adjudged to have brought him down. He is pointing very deliberately, Vidic, to a mark outside the penalty area, because he says that's where the initial challenge was made, but Cole tumbles over just inside the box. And what do you know, Mark Noble, having scored 1 penalty, now has this opportunity to give West Ham a 2-0 lead. Now, the last time he put the ball low to Kushak's right. Kushak's just behind his goal at the moment, having a drink, preparing himself. What a big moment this could be again for Mark Noble. A penalty kick to West Ham. Kuszak's ready. Noble can give West Ham a 2-goal cushion here in this early kick-off in the Premier League. Could be a very pivotal day in the Premier League. Noble scores high to the other side this time of Kuszak. And West Ham, after 24 minutes, have a 2-0 lead over Manchester United.
Well, this time Noble struck the ball tremendously hard up into the top left-hand corner of the net. Completely different from his first one, which was on the floor into the right-hand side. It's 2-0 West Ham United. How are Manchester United going to react to this?
Just having a look again at the incident. Well, what do you think, Graham? It was right on the line, just inside perhaps?
Just inside,
Just
yeah.
inside. So it looks like Lee Mason and his officials have got this right. We will go back to the cricket now and Mark Pugac.
Another wicket for India, 181 for 4 Sri Lanka, 11 overs to go. Samawira, LBW Yuvraj on a review for 21, playing the sweep. Jayawardene still there on 66, 11 overs to go, Mike, and Sri Lanka 181 for 4.
Thank you very much indeed, and I know the grapevine works as well in world sport. I bet there are people even watching the World Cricket Cup final there, India-Sri Lanka, who are probably aware as well of what's going on here. They love their Premier League football, of course. Well, let me tell you what's going on here. If you're just joining us, it's a fascinating scenario from the neutral, because West Ham lead Manchester United 2-0 at Upton Park. We haven't even played half an hour yet, as Valencia hangs the ball into the penalty area. Giggs doesn't control it first time. Now he's able to turn, and Giggs now trying to get United moving once more. Poor touch from Rooney, though. West Ham scrambled it away. They do well, but back come Manchester United once more with the former West Ham player Carrick. Onto Rooney. It's bobbling away from Rooney once more. United take possession. Gibson to Park. All played very quickly, and now a smooth pass from Parker, and then O'Neill's ball into Cole, flicked down the right-hand side towards Jakobsen, and it's out of play. And just to sort of underline what's going on here, 12:45 kick-off, never easy for an away team in the Premier League, often unpredictable. This is a Manchester United side shorn of defenders, just days away from a Champions League quarter-final. And remember, they've lost their last 2 away games in the Premier League. At the moment, they're heading for a 3rd successive away defeat in the Premier League, having lost those games at Liverpool and Chelsea. Rooney, preferred to Berbatov. He's only scored 7 goals in the Premier League compared to Berbatov's 20. Giggs' ball in behind Park, and now Briggs struggling against Valencia, but he's helped out by Upson. Manchester United will always be dangerous, but then so West Ham on the break. Fabio does very well against Demba Ba. Manchester United moving it once more through midfield. Carrick to Valencia, who's deserted the right touchline for the moment. Valencia taking on Bridge, slides the ball in, and Upson, the captain, concedes a corner. Graham.
Yeah, Valencia there getting the cross in, and I said earlier I think he should be getting more of the ball, and I think he would give good service in, because it'd certainly give Wayne Bridge problems. I'd like to see Manchester United getting the ball out to Valencia much more than they are doing.
They need to get back quickly here, Manchester United. 2-0 down. Music to the ears of Chelsea fans, Arsenal fans, Manchester City and Spurs fans, and now it's Ryan Giggs for Manchester United winning another corner off Scott Parker. It's a lovely day here, very different conditions from the last time the sides met here in the Carling Cup on a snowy night when West Ham won 4-0. So they've gone out of one tournament in this stadium. They were grounded here, I remember, in 92 and 95, losing certainly once and then drawing the other one, but they were crucial setbacks for Manchester United in the title race. Corner kick from Giggs, flicked on at the near post by Carrick. Green looked to be fouled, he was, and it's a free kick to West Ham. Back again to that big game in League One, Leeds and Forest. Ian Brown.
Yeah, Leeds 0, Forest 0 is still the score, but signs that Forest are settling in the last few minutes. Majewski, the pole, had a shot deflected just off target, and a Lynch cross from the left just eluded Tudgai at the far post, gave him too much to do really. It looked a good chance, but it was very difficult for Leeds. Snodgrass has fired one straight at the keeper. I know that you meant it was the Championship.
Yes, thank you.
0-0.
Freudian slip. Funny, isn't it? I always think of the Premier League still as the Championship. Maybe it should be old-fashioned me here. Anyway, it is the Championship, of course. Getting carried away here with events at Upton Park, and not surprisingly, because we have quite a situation developing here in front of us at Upton Park. West Ham 2, Manchester United 0. United have 4 games in a row now against London opposition. And they'll also be coming, of course, here in 2 weeks' time to London for the FA Cup semi-final. It's such a huge month for Manchester United. They're trailing here 2-0. Another wicket in the cricket. Back to Mark Pugach in Mumbai.
182 for 5 now in the 40th over. Brilliant slow ball by Zahir Khan, and Kapu Gedra, who's just come in, chipped it to Rayner at cover. 182 for 5.
Thank you, Mark. Here's Hitzelsberger now. Down this near side, he's made such a difference to Avram Grant's side since he came back from the injury. Scott Parker as Manchester United clear weakly. Parker linking with Hitzelsberger, a bit tight down the near side. And now Manchester United looking to counter-attack. And it's Valencia with a high one, looking to play it over to Costa. Rooney chases, but Green will get there once more, very comfortably in the West Ham goal. West Ham 2, Manchester United 0. Quite a transformation there's been here at the club since that day in January when Avram Grant was supposed to be on his way out of the club, and Martin O'Neill was supposed to be coming into the club. That was the word that was going around. Well, West Ham did sign an O'Neill, but it wasn't Martin. It was Gary, and he's made a difference as well over on that right-hand side in midfield, giving them shape and balance. And West Ham, since those days, have only lost once in the Premier League, and they've had some very good results under Avram Grant. Well, he's had a pop at refereeing coming into this game, saying that refereeing has cost West Ham 10 points, but the referee here today has given them 2 penalties. Sir Alex Ferguson watches on in the director's box. Here come his team now, Valencia. That wasn't very well laid off. Too much pace for Rooney. Rooney will get it in. Diving header away to Park. Park should score. What a save from Green. Fantastic low down. Turning it over the bar. Reflex stuff from the England goalkeeper to keep it 2-0.
Well, there's 2 ways you look at that. Is it a bad miss? Because it's straight at Green. But is it a good save? And it is. Because even though it was close to him, the power of the ball was there. Keeps West Ham's 2-0 lead.
Ryan Giggs with a Manchester United corner kick, trailing 2-0. It's a good corner, header down, but he heads it straight down into the ground, Smalling, and then wide. By the way, if you're tuning in for news of Inverness and Celtic, that game off waterlogged pitch in Scotland, that 12 o'clock kick-off. Rangers are playing Dundee United at 3 o'clock, and so Rangers can go top if they win that game with Celtic not playing today. And of course, Ian Brown watching Leeds and Forest in the Championship. We also have Hull against Millwall. That was a 1 o'clock kick-off. And then from 3 o'clock today on 5 Live, well, after this one's finished, we'll bring you Chelsea's game at Stoke and all the rest of the action. So West Ham 2, Manchester United 0. West Ham have lost their last 6 Premier League games against Manchester United. Noble's got them both from the penalty spot. First West Ham player since Dean Ashton to score against Manchester United 3 years ago in the Premier League. And there must be an injury to somebody, because the physio's coming out now. It's Smalling, I think, who's got a problem perhaps with his neck or his shoulder, or anyway, just for the moment he doesn't need treatment, and Manchester United give the ball away. But then Noble's a bit careless in midfield, and now it's with the United captain Vidic back in the side again. So many players, of course, missing. Ferdinand, Van der Sar, Fletcher and Scholes among them, and Berbatov and Hernandez and Nani are on the bench. No Evans and Brown and O'Shea, and Manchester United just days away from the Champions League quarter-final. 2-0 down. Gibson, and now a nice exchange with Evra. Oh, the whistle's gone against Manchester United, and a yellow card. Who's that gone to? Gibson.
Yeah, he reacted to the challenge from Noble, and the referee got eyes on the whole incident all the time. Good positioning by the referee, and I think he tried to sort of throw his arm and throw him into Noble long after the ball had gone.
It's a bit ironic, really, mentioning all the big stars missing from the United side, all the senior citizens in the team, as a free kick is taken from West Ham and it's headed away by Smalling. But West Ham still have possibilities. Park may be caught in possession here. The whistle's gone against West Ham for the challenge. I was going to make the point that the penalties have been given against Evra and Vidic, who of course are the 2 senior players in the Manchester United back 4. There's no Van der Sar today. He's being rested as Bridge clips the ball forward. Bridge looking for Cole. In goes Smalling. I think Cole thought he should have had a free kick there, not given by Lee Mason. It's a throw to West Ham. And not a lot of sign at the moment, Graham, that Manchester United are going to get their act together here.
The surprising thing to me is, if you looked out there, there doesn't seem to be a leader out there. I'm not just talking about Vidic, because a lot of times he plays from, but they're walking around with their head looking down to the ground. There's not one player sort of looking out there and say, come on, hey, we're in trouble here, let's get our fingers out.
West Ham 2, Manchester United 0 on 5 Live. West Ham building on the edge of the United penalty area, and now Gibson and Carrick today playing as two holding midfield players in a sort of 4-2-3-1 as Park now looks for Rooney on his own up front. He's just inside the West Ham penalty area, maybe going to try and curl one in from the angle. Now he has to part with the ball and play it back to Carrick. United play it quickly and then give it away. West Ham looking to clear, header on by Demba Ba. Vidic was there in the nick of time for Manchester United. Then some good skills from Carrick. Carrick now moves the ball on to Gibson. He wants help from Evra over on the left. Rooney waits in the penalty area. United need a reply. Ball played in, it bobbles around a little bit, and then Upson, who was terrific in the last game at Spurs, clears. And Hitzelsberger floats, and Evra's completely out of position as O'Neill takes the ball down the West Ham right. Carlton Cole gallops forward. Here comes O'Neill for West Ham. In comes a cross. Chance for Hitzelsberger. And he smashes it into the crowd. Couldn't quite control the effort. It would have been a fantastic strike to get it on target. It's a goal kick to Manchester United.
Yeah, he just had to increase his pace just so he could get over the ball as he attempted and did in fact half volley it. And he just didn't get his body over enough. He had to get in there a little bit quicker. But that was a break by West Ham United. And when that happened, I was looking at Wayne Rooney, I was looking at Giggs, I was looking at Park, and the three of them were just walking back. They weren't running back like you would normally expect them to do.
Paolo Di Canio's in the crowd here today with his West Ham colours, cheering his former club on. The crowd picked him out and gave him a special cheer before the game. West Ham 2, Manchester United 0. Bridge against Valencia, free kick to West Ham quickly taken. And United a bit slow to react to the free kick, just to underline what Graham was saying. Now it's Noble wasting the ball from West Ham's midfield. Fabio, the fullback, will have to play it. He's been tackled as well. Just at the moment, West Ham is sharper, just seem to want it a little bit more as O'Neill went in with that challenge, and it's a throw to Manchester United. It's exactly a year this weekend, by the way, since Manchester United were last beaten at Old Trafford by Chelsea. But on the road it's been a different story. But they're 2-0 down, and now Rooney looking for Giggs. Across comes Jakobsen. He just holds up Giggs on the edge of the area. Near side, Manchester United's right. Now there are two players, and Parker's there as well, and Jakobsen's holding up Giggs. But the linesman's given the corner kick to Manchester United. When he was just inches away from the incident, he was happy, and it's a chance now for Manchester United, with 36.5 minutes gone, to get a goal back here.
West Ham must retain all concentration.
Green points. One great save from him, from Park, who now receives the ball following the corner. It's back to Valencia, who hits the ball high, rising into the fans behind Green's goal. Goal kick for West Ham, at the moment in charge of this game. And by the way, if they were to win this game, then before all the rest of the afternoon results, West Ham would move up 4 places in the Premier League. So, Robert Green. Amazing turnaround there's been here since that day in January when Avram Grant threw his scarf into the crowd at the end of the match, and we thought that was the end of Avram Grant. But here he is, tangling with Sir Alex again. The two men, of course, met in a Champions League final in Moscow. Ball inside Manchester United's half, and out of play for their throw-in. Need a bit of a lift here. They do have some firepower on the bench, Manchester United. I'm sure they'll be needed. Hernandez, Berbatov, Nani, and now Upson. Strong header, which has been missed by Carrick. And here goes Cole now. Carlton Cole of West Ham, just showboating a bit on the edge of the area. And it wasn't a great layoff towards Demba Ba. And nevertheless, he still closes down Vidic. And it's a throw-in to United if you're joining us. Penalty given away by Evra for handball. Tucked away by Noble. Another penalty, this time for a trip by Vidic on Carlton Cole, just inside the area, and put away again by Noble. Rooney, now on to Park. Park immediately surrounded by 4 West Ham players. In the end, he wasn't going to go any further, and it's a free kick to Manchester United. Giggs is talking to the referee.
Yeah, Wayne Rooney as well. They're talking about the foul. They're just complaining a little bit, I think, about the incidents. But that's usually what a team does when they're 2-0 down. They start moaning. Well,
Sir Alex Ferguson will be able to get at them in about 6 minutes as Giggs lifts the free kick forward, and it's an easy header away by Upson. United still trying to press. This is Manchester United. Two Uniteds I'm aware of, obviously, in this game. Now, Carrick once more in the centre of Manchester United's midfield. It's too slow though, the build-up here from the visitors. Gibson again. West Ham have got everybody apart from Carlton Cole back. Now a chance for Valencia. 3 Manchester United players in the area. Rooney's looking interested, but it doesn't reach him. Da Costa's header still not cleared though yet by West Ham. It's Valencia running well into the penalty area, dinks the ball in, too high for Rooney. Da Costa gets his head to it, and then Hitzelsberger clears towards the centre circle. But back come Manchester United once more. Ball lifted high to the far side, neatly brought down by Evra. Evra now scoops it in. Da Costa's header may run to Valencia. Now it finds Valencia on the edge of the penalty area. It was Smalling who headed it onto him. Smalling's ball in. Once more, Upson is there at the back for West Ham, who will always be dangerous on the counter-attack. Here they go. Noble, scorer of the 2 penalties, finds the Dane Jakobsen. Now Gary O'Neill, West Ham far side the right. West Ham just probing their way into the United half. Back again to Noble, and now back again to Grief. It must be great to get penalties, Graham, but how hard is it, do you think, for a penalty taker when he's had one and scored? Does it confuse him slightly, do you think? Where do I put the next one?
I think they certainly make their minds up. You know, you've seen penalty takers, haven't we, that put it in the same spot all of the time. Doesn't matter whether they've taken one before or not. It's all down to the individual player. But both penalties were taken confidently. They were put
different
into
sides.
areas of different sides, yeah. One up in the back of the net.
Here goes Fabio now, and Scott Parker did very well there to hold him up. Out comes Robert Green. Sorry, Graham.
Yeah, one up in the back of the net and the other one on the ground in the corner of the net. So they were both well taken penalties.
West Ham 2, Manchester United 0. Oh, Vidic getting in real trouble there with Demba Ba. He gets a yellow card. He was the last defender. He's held him back having made a mistake. He allowed him through, then he pulled him back. And that's quite a controversial decision, I think. Well, looking again at that, some referees, was he through on goal or not? What's your thinking on that?
Well, I can only assume that he probably thought he wasn't going to get the ball, but very, very fortunate man, Vidic. He's pulled him down, the ball is going in. If Cole is allowed to keep his feet,
Demba Ba, wasn't it?
Demba Ba, allowed to keep his feet, then you're going to say that he's got a chance of getting that ball. I think there the favour has gone to Manchester United that Vidic is still on the pitch.
He's such a fantastic defender, but he's just had moments like that in the past, particularly against Fernando Torres, when he misjudged the bounce and misjudged the pace. And he is fortunate perhaps still not to get the red card and be out of the game as Lee Mason marches out the yards. That would have been a nightmare to lose Vidic with a straight red and to have him out of the next few games. So Lee Mason's not happy with where Manchester United are lining up this wall. Hitzelsberger can really clout the ball, of course. He's there, and so too is O'Neill. It's 2-0 to West Ham. Both of the goals have been penalties. Here's a set piece for them with 3 minutes to go before half-time. It'll be Thomas Hitzelsberger! Oh, it's just wide. In fact, from the angle here, I thought that was going in.
So did I, Mike. I really looked at beating the goalkeeper all ends up, but just wide.
Well, we haven't had a sending off here, but I think in the Championship there might well have been. Leeds and Nottingham Forest, Ian Brown.
There has a real flashpoint. It's Leeds 0, Forest 0, but Nottingham Forest are down to 10 men. Chris Cohen, their midfielder, has been sent off. A lunging tackle down in front of us on George McCartney. Cohen's instant reaction was, I know I've hurt the player, but I got the ball. The referee is Mark Halsey. He's been dragged in, of course, from the Premier League because of the high-profile nature of this fixture. But I think he might have been in some way caught out by the fact that so many of the Leeds players came rushing out to surround him, including the goalkeeper Schmeichel, and the red card came out. Still Leeds 0, Forest 0, but Forest down to 10 men.
Thank you, Ian. All season long we've been saying Manchester United, how are they doing it? They are top of the table without ever really being in top gear, and now they're being thoroughly examined here as they face a third successive away defeat in the Premier League. And you can just imagine the Chelsea players now preparing to play at Stoke, and then later Arsenal at 5:30 at home to Blackburn. If West Ham can do them a favour here, then anything could still happen in this Premier League race as we move into the sharp end of the season. Manchester United are building. Gibson and Evra at the moment has come right across the field to this right-hand side. The ball is with Giggs now, who has it into his possession. In comes the cross. That's a very easy clearance, though, by Da Costa at the back, and it's back inside Manchester United's half. So Vidic is on a yellow card, Gibson as well in this game. Manchester United are chasing the game with just over a minute to go. Bridge steps in neatly. He's made a difference as well to the West Ham back four. They've got 5 England players in this starting 11. Green, Upson, Bridge, Parker and Carlton Cole. Here's Bridge again now, and it's a throw-in for West Ham United. We'll be seeing the fourth official in a moment. Just for the moment we see Avram Grant coming out and pointing. Fourth official prepares to indicate how much added time there will be. Demba Ba. If West Ham don't go on to win this game, that Vidic incident will be a talking point afterwards. It's Ryan Giggs, a little bit congested, he's running freely. Upson gets half a challenge in. Ball comes to Valencia, who keeps well, shows good balance, slides it in field to Carrick. Carrick now for Park. Rooney desperate for some support, I think, in the second half here. They'll have to get someone on to try and help him. Another poor pass towards Rooney, then a mistake by Da Costa gives Manchester United a throw-in. 10 seconds of normal time to go. West Ham 2, Manchester United 0. More on the Cricket World Cup final coming soon. 2 minutes of added time. Carrick for Manchester United. Rooney was caught, I thought there, yes he was, by Da Costa. Heavy challenge from Da Costa. Rooney's down on the ground. Sir Alex Ferguson will be hoping and praying that it's nothing serious. With the Champions League quarter-final coming, remember, it's just a year on from that injury that Rooney got, which he never really recovered from fully, away to Bayern Munich. And Rooney's back on his feet, and Manchester United, as now Lee Mason marches out the yards at the other end of the stadium, because this is a Manchester United free kick, and he wants the West Ham, it's been quite pedantic here, he wants the West Ham defenders right back on the line. This could be, well, I'm sure it will be, Manchester United's last chance to get a goal back before the break. And it's going to be Rooney sliding it square. Gibson's shot is charged down by Parker. Ball breaks to Giggs. Still United players waiting. In it goes. Rooney tumbles over and throws himself to the ground. Doesn't appeal, to be fair to him, though, for anything. It's a goal kick.
Watching Rooney in this first 45 minutes, he's still in. I know Sir Alex has said how well he's done and how well is this, but I think he's still, on this performance, a million miles away from the Wayne Rooney that we know.
Well, saw him a couple of weeks ago, and we were saying after the game how much better he looked playing in the United team with Hernandez ahead of him as well. That really did look a partnership, but now Hernandez is on the bench, so too is Berbatov. Rooney's the lone ranger, but they'll have to change that after the break if they're going to get back into this game. We're just hearing the Manchester United fans really for about the first time in this game. Their team 2-0 down. It's Park now, just inside the West Ham half. Only about 10 seconds to go of added time. Valencia by the corner flag. United players in the area. In goes the cross. It's really poorly delivered by Valencia. West Ham will clear. Lee Mason, who's been a central figure in this game, the referee, blows for half-time. And what an intriguing game we have here. The Premier League returning after a 2-week break. This was always going to be a lively day today, with Chelsea playing at 3 and Arsenal playing at 5:30, and Manchester United having this potentially very difficult match away to West Ham. It's turning out to be exactly that, as Evra is complaining obviously about the handball, I would think. But the half-time score here, with West Ham striking 2 penalties from Noble, is West Ham 2, Manchester United 0.
Thank you, Mike and Graham and Ian, and we'll be back for the second half in just a couple of moments. We're going to talk to the Stoke owner Peter Coates, but let's get an update on the Cricket World Cup final. Mark Pugach.
In the 44th over, Sri Lanka 199 for 5. Still got that batting power play to come, and Jayawardene 72 off as many deliveries, and Kulasekaran has 11. So 43.2 overs gone now. Sri Lanka 199 for 5.
So this afternoon, 5 Live Sport is coming live from the Britannia Stadium. Stoke against Chelsea is a 3 o'clock game. It's a Britannia Stadium that is bathed in sunshine at the moment, which must be a nice view for you, Chairman Peter Coates.
It is nice. You'd expect nothing else here, would you?
No, I wouldn't. I was at with several Stoke fans last night, and they described you to me as the ideal chairman. Because you're a local businessman and a fan of the club.
Well, that is true.
And they said that in this day and age of modern football, that's very important to them.
No, it is, and it's unusual. There are a few of us about, and these things come in cycles and fashion, so it may change later. But no, it is. What they say is true, and in many ways, it's a good thing.
Yeah, it wasn't always like that, though.
No, I've had my trials here and tribulations, and Tony Blair once said about he got the scars on his back, so I could say the same.
When you came back for the second time, how difficult a decision was it for you? Because the first leaving wasn't particularly nice for you, so coming back a second time, was that a difficult decision?
Well, it is. I mean, it's a big. It was. I would say it was one of those big decisions in your life, and I wasn't sure whether it was the right thing to do. I felt I could help the club. It was a bit of unfinished business. I was very disappointed we hadn't done better when I was there the first time. I thought we were going nowhere. I thought we were in a mess. Nobody else was coming forward, and so a variety of factors, and so I did it.
And was that the reason as well? Because Tony Pulis is back for a second time as well. So was that unfinished business as well for you?
Well, it was always my intention to appoint him, and he wasn't necessarily welcomed by our supporters. Yeah. It wasn't a popular decision, but I'd seen enough of him and thought that he could, with support from myself and the family business, because that's what's happened here, I thought we could get promoted on some sort of sensible financial basis. Yeah.
And now, when he says, Tony Pulis, that this is the big season. If you stay up and you're up for 3 seasons in the Premier League, you're an established Premier League club. Is that how you would feel after 3 seasons?
Well, I know what he's saying about the Premier League. Every year is difficult and hard. But what he's saying, I think, is you get better at it, you get more experience, your infrastructure improves, so your chances are better, doesn't it? I would go along that.
This afternoon, once you're left us, you go and have lunch with the Chelsea dignitaries, right?
Yeah.
As a fan of the club, when you have to sit in your nice sort of director's box seats and you've got the other dignitaries from the opposition next to you, how difficult is it not to jump up and down?
No, I'm okay, because I'm one of those guys who doesn't show what they think and what they feel.
Poker face.
That's it. Yeah. Maybe I should have done that.
What's your hope for the next 2 years, 3 years with this football club?
I don't think that far ahead in football.
Okay.
Because I think it's not a game you can do that. What you do try to do, and what we are trying to do, is get better. So that's it. But it's such an unpredictable game, which is its great attraction. And they talk about planning in football, and you do your budgets, and you do this, you do that, you do the other, you do your first 5 games, and it all goes through the window.
So you can't apply the principles that you've used in business to the football club? You
try.
Right.
You try, but it's the unpredictability of it. You just don't know. And I say, you start off season, you think, look at Everton. Have had a difficult season this season, and everybody thought, me included, they'd have a very good season because of the squad. And who knows? Probably even David Moyes doesn't know why, because that's how it is. It's difficult. But it is part of its attraction, and you never get carried away, because it can easily go wrong, and sometimes it goes wrong, and nobody quite knows why it's going.
Appreciate you joining us this afternoon on 5 Live Sport. Thank you very much. Go and enjoy your lunch with the Chelsea officials, and I'll watch you from up here in your poker face for the game.
Thanks very much,
Peter.
Bye.
Thank you very much. The Stoke owner and chairman Peter Coates on 5 Live Sport, as well as the Manchester United West Ham game. There's also a game going on in the Championship at the moment. Ellen Road and Ian Brown, Nottingham Forest, have got their work cut out.
Yeah, we're running a bit late here, and Forest are down to 10 men. To remind you, it's still Leeds 0, Forest 0. Always a fiery fixture, this particular one. No exception today. Chris Cohen, the Forest player, sent off 10 minutes ago, and now Chris Boyd is going to be shown a yellow card as well, I think, for Forest. They've also had Tudguy booked, but Cohen was sent off for an overly aggressive challenge on George McCartney, though I get the feeling that the referee Mark Halsey was influenced by the fact that so many Leeds white-shirted players rushed at him to remonstrate over the tackle. Certainly Cohen got some of the ball. Forest, despite being down to 10 men for the last few minutes, have remained the better of the two teams in a bit of a sketchy game. The best chance, Tudgai with a shot which was cleared from in front of the line. Billy Davis and Simon Grayson, the two respective managers, have been barking at each other as well, and Billy Davis just won't stay in his box. Now he's going down the tunnel and he's urging on the Forest fans to make more noise. He's never very popular at Ellen Road, as Billy Davis. Leeds 0, Forest 0 at half-time.
One game in the Championship kicked off at 1 o'clock. Hull, who are very, very good away from home, but not quite as strong at the KC Stadium, are behind at home to Millwall. Steve Morrison has put the visitors ahead 5 minutes ago till half-time there. So it's West Ham 2, Manchester United 0 at half-time at Upton Park. Full second-half commentary on the way, and we'll also talk to Jan Molby, who will be alongside me here at the Britannia Stadium for Stoke against Chelsea after Tom Sanders with the BBC News.
Online at bbc.co.uk/5live.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
NATO is investigating claims that up to 15 people were killed when a coalition plane struck a rebel convoy in eastern Libya last night. An ambulance was among several vehicles hit near the town of Brega. There are reports that anti-aircraft fire had been coming from the convoy. At least 9 people have been killed in Kandahar, a second day of violence in Afghanistan. Protests over the burning of the Quran by a pastor in the United States saw 7 UN staff killed during similar demonstrations in Mazar-e-Sharif. Heavy fighting is continuing in Ivory Coast's main city of Abidjan. Forces loyal to the winner of last year's presidential elections, Alassane Ouattara, say that they're closing in on Laurent Gbagbo, who's refusing to step down. A 19-year-old man has appeared in court charged with attempted murder following the shootings of a 5-year-old girl and a 35-year-old man in South London on Tuesday. Anthony McCalla will next appear at the Old Bailey on June the 10th. And West Midlands police say a 14-year-old girl who was stabbed outside a school in Stourbridge yesterday has had surgery and is doing well. An 18-year-old man, arrested on suspicion of attempted murder, is being questioned by detectives. And Louise has the latest travel for us.
We'll start in Perth and Kinross, and the M90 Frighton Bridge has delays of around half an hour southbound between junctions 11 and 10, so past Perth because of the ongoing roadworks there. Glasgow, the exit slip roads on the M8 at junction 15 at Townhead are closed both ways for roadworks. It means westbound the queues are all the way from Bellaston at junction 8 through to Craighall at junction 16, because that's where people are diverting. Eastbound the queues are from junction 22, the M77 through to junction 16. West Yorkshire, one lane closed on the M62 westbound between junctions 24 and 23, the Huddersfield stretch. In amongst the roadworks, got a broken down minibus, 3 miles of queues on the approach there. Hampshire, very slow for the M27 westbound, junction 3, the M271 through to Romsey at junction 2 following an earlier accident. And Derbyshire, Findon, the A38 is closed northbound between the A50 at Toyota Island and the A516 following an accident. Louise Pepper, 5 Live Travel.
As part of the BBC's Grand National coverage, 5 Live is coming to Liverpool, and you can be a part of it by being in the studio audience for our live shows, including Fighting Talk with Colin Murray, Tony Livesey's National Night Out, and Thursday from 7, I'll be hosting a debate on the London Olympics.
Eleanor Oldroyd.
Live from the Epstein Theatre in the city centre, I'll be joined by a panel of sporting stars.
Down to the box they go.
Have your say on the London Olympics.
Britain have got the gold medal!
For details on all our Liverpool shows and to find out how you can be in the audience, go to bbc.co.uk/5live.
Good afternoon, this is Mark Chapman with 5 Live Sport this Saturday afternoon. Let's go straight back to Mumbai and find out how Sri Lanka are getting on as their innings winds its way to a close. And Mark, it probably best you don't tell Geoffrey Boycott alongside you the football score.
He knows. He's been very grown up about it.
No, I told him here they'll lose at West Ham. They've always been a bogey side. Remember that time we should have won the championship if we beat them when Blackburn won? We get it in the post and everything. They always beat us.
Well, there we are, Jeff.
Anyhow, we don't have good enough midfield.
Well, there we are. Do you want to run down in the dressing room and tell Sir Alex that?
I keep telling him. Telling the chief exec, get some more quality midfielders in.
Right, last 5 overs here. Power play, 2:14 for 5. Jayawardene 80 at a run of ball. Akula Raseka 18. Vital passage of the game. There have been times it felt like India were letting things drift a little bit, Geoffrey.
Yes, because the pitch is pretty good. it's not turning, and usually on all the other pitches it's turned a little bit, so that occasional bowlers like Yuvraj Singh have become very good bowlers and been able to get into the game as a proper bowler, but he's really a fill-in bowler. And then Sreesanth, well, he hasn't bowled the kid for 6 weeks. He's an ordinary bowler anyhow. I think it floats out of his hand. So they've got problems. And they've just let it drift. Normally, he bowls Zahir before the new ball, which has changed in the 35th over it comes. And he bowls him about the 29th because he can reverse it, bowl well, and then saves him for 2 or 3 today. He didn't bowl him. He kept on bowling the left-armer Yuvraj. He bowled Sreesanth. It's easy. I mean, he's hardly played a shot in Nanga, Jayawardene. He's a class act. He's a wonderful player. I can't remember where he's hit one really hard boundary. He's just stroked it, angled it, caressed it, one's here,
and he's
got to run a ball.
And he's got another 20 or 30.
Yeah.
What do you think? We've got 4 overs and 1 ball left. What do you think would be a very challenging target for India to chase? 216 for 5 now.
Well, they've got to get 250. They've really got to aim at. I mean, anything above is a bonus, but you've got to aim at 250.
We will see, Mark. 45.5 overs bowled, 216 for 5. Jeffrey's off to give Sir Alex a ring in the dressing room.
Thank you very much to you both. More updates throughout the afternoon, ball by ball on 5 Live Sports Extra. 5 Live Sports itself begins its coverage of the flat racing season today at Doncaster. We've already heard from last year's first-time champion jockey Paul Hannigan on his hopes for 2011, and correspondent Cornelius Lysett, he could get success in today's big race, the Lincoln.
Yes, Mark, what a start that would be. Paul Hannigan with a pretty good chance on Irish Heartbeat, one of 6 horses in the 22-runner Lincoln, trained here in Yorkshire by Richard Fahey, round about 10 or 11 to 1 Irish Heartbeat, though not the best backed. Richard Fahey's Our Joe Mack well fancied and well backed, it seems, at 12 to 1. I should just tell you some jockey news. The quite well fancied Lowther, now ridden by Robert Winston, and news, Mark, hot off the press ahead of the Aintree Festival on Merseyside next weekend. The Grand National, of course, a week today, and that is that Long Run, the Cheltenham Gold Cup winner, is not going to run in the Totespur Bowl next Thursday because he had a hard race at Cheltenham, says his trainer Nicky Henderson. He's only 6 years old. His life is in front of him, so there's no hurry for his next assignment.
Cornelius, thank you very much. Yes, 5 Live Sport comes live from Aintree next Saturday, and we'll have the William Hill Lincoln for you at 3:10 this afternoon. 3 o'clock, it's Stoke against Chelsea. Jan Molby is alongside John Murray this afternoon. Jan, in that Chelsea dressing room at the moment, do you think they'll have the West Ham Manchester United game on, and that will give them a lift for this afternoon?
Yeah, I think so. I think Chelsea felt that they might just be in it anyway before Manchester United being 2-0 down at half time, but I think this will give them a lift. On the other hand, I also think there'll be a number of players in that dressing room apprehensive about what they're about to face today, because there will be 1 or 2 players who've never played at Stoke before, and you know there's a guarantee, isn't there? There's a great atmosphere, and you know Stoke are going to have a physical approach to the game. There's going to be a lot of crosses to deal with. So I think, as much as they'll be looking forward to maybe Manchester United dropping points, I also think they'll be apprehensive about this game here this afternoon.
If you were in the Chelsea midfield today, right, who would you want to be picking out up front? Who would you want as your front 2, if indeed they do go 4-4-2?
Well, obviously, sometimes it depends on what type of midfield player you are. You know, you've got midfield players who like to play a lot of short and sharp stuff, or you've got midfield players who like to play long balls. I think if you want to play long balls, then Fernando Torres, who spends the most of his time on the shoulders of the defenders, he would be your man. If you want to have link-up play, then maybe a Nelka it might be the man, because he tends to drop deep and get involved in the build-up play. We don't know who's going to start. What we do know is that they haven't found a partnership up front that's working. We also know that especially Fernando Torres at the moment is not in great form.
The reason I asked it is because Chelsea's last game against Manchester City, and we were there for 5 Live Sport, and there were 2 or 3 times that Frank Lampard got the ball, looked up, didn't have an option, and had to check.
Yeah, I mean, Frank is also used to playing in a midfield 3, isn't he? You know, Chelsea's played like that for years, which always gives you more possibilities in midfield anyway. But you're right, and it is a problem. You know, so far it's been great for Chelsea. The results over the last few weeks have greatly improved. The back 4 and the midfield 4 is not a problem. It's the top 2, isn't it? It's a top 2 that's going to make a difference. And I mentioned before the improved results that Chelsea have had. And if they can get them to fire up front, if they can get Anelka, Drogba, Torres back scoring goals, then there'll be a real handful. But at the moment, it's not work, and it is a problem for midfield players.
Jan Mulvey, part of our commentary team then here at the Britannia. Full commentary from 3 on Stoke against Chelsea, and we have reporters at Everton against Aston Villa, West Brom against Liverpool, Wigan against Spurs, Birmingham versus Bolton, and Newcastle at home to Wolves. It's going to be a busy afternoon in the Premier League. You won't miss a thing with us here on 5 Live Sport, and the day has already got off to a dramatic start. West Ham begin this second half against Manchester United, 2 goals to the good. Your commentary team, Graham Taylor, Mike Ingham, and first of all, back to Ian Dennis.
Thank you, Mark. Well, Sir Alex Ferguson, who is serving the second of his 5-match touchline ban, has responded at half-time with an alteration, with Hernandez coming on to replace Patrice Evra. And straight away, I was thinking, well, Fabio then would maybe switch, but no, Fabio will not go back to his natural position at left-back. Ryan Giggs is now going to play left-back. Fabio remains at right-back. So that is the alteration made by Sir Alex Ferguson. His side trail by 2-0 as the bubbles from the bubble machine drifting gently into the air. We've lost the sunshine, but still a bright afternoon here at Upton Park. And the small electronic scoreboard away to my right reads West Ham United 2, the visitors 0. And those visitors, Manchester United, must regroup just as they have done earlier on in this season, because Manchester United fans may well recall they salvaged a point at Aston Villa when they were 2-0 down, and then in January they got all 3 at Blackpool when they won by 3-2, and Hernandez came off the bench that day and got one of the goals as Giggs with a cross straight away, and Hernandez first touch, running in 6 yards out. White shirts, Manchester United playing from right to left, right-footed side onto goal, over the top, but again brighter, because when they did attack in the first half, Greg, a lot was down the right-hand side. There was no threat whatsoever down the left.
Absolutely right. But there, as the mark of a goal scorer, Hernandez there came across, left his marker, got in front of him. Yes, ball over the bar, but at least got on the end of the ball. I mean, what we're looking at now is it looks like Rooney is going to play that little bit in behind Hernandez, and with Park coming out onto the left side, with Giggs dropping back to left back.
So you've got that front 3, if you like, of Hernandez, then Rooney and Valencia. It's Park, Carrick and Gibson, and then, as we've talked about, that back 4, Fabio right back, Vidic, Smalling and Giggs now at left back with Kuszczak in goal. No Van der Sar. Left out, precautionary measure because of a groin injury, and of course they play Chelsea in the Champions League, a game you'll be able to hear on 5 Live on Wednesday. West Ham United, well, they were unchanged. And we'll have to give them, they'll run through their team now, because Cole, the ball just balloons away from him for a goal kick. Green in goal, the back 4 of Jakobsen, Da Costa, Upson and Bridge, Parker, Noble and Hitzelsberger, Gary O'Neill to the right, Demba Ba and Carlton Cole. And it could have been much, much worse for Manchester United, because Vidic 4 minutes before half-time could have been sent off. But in the eyes of referee Lee Mason, he wasn't deemed to be denying a goal-scoring opportunity in that challenge with Demba Ba. So West Ham, courtesy of those 2 converted penalties from Mark Noble, lead Manchester United by 2-0. And it's all about the response as far as the league leaders are concerned. There's 3 overs to go in Cricket's World Cup final in Mumbai. 237 for 5 Sri Lanka, 237 for 5, 3 overs remaining. Commentary continues on 5 Live Sports Extra. After this game, we switch to the Britannia Stadium. Stoke against Chelsea. Manchester United in the meantime looking to try and get a foothold back in the game through Hernandez. Hernandez cutting in off the left touchline, plays the ball out towards that right. Valencia will keep it in just in the touchline. Fabio making up lost ground. It's a wasted trip for him as the ball is inside to Carrick. Carrick square to Gibson. Gibson 30 yards out from goal to Rooney with his back to goal. And they momentarily lost it. They've won it back. It's Vidic in the centre circle. It's a high ball over the head of Valencia. And West Ham will have a throw. They've been disappointed in glimpses on the right-hand side. At times Valencia, and you actually think, get the ball more to Valencia, and they might do more. But I was like you, alarmed when they had to track back how sluggish they were, that front 3. And West Ham in the first half far sharper. Graham.
There's certainly been that as well, and they've come out, although Manchester United, are having the majority of the game at the moment. And Hernandez, he's sharp, he's quick. I like this player. And, he's always looks lively.
Carrick intercepts the ball from Noble. Carrick coming forward now. Giggs has made a run ahead of him. Carrick's shot almost ran through towards Rooney. Carrick tries to dig it out towards Rooney. Noble though redeems himself and then finds Demba Ba, and Vidic caught him there. Vidic caught him. Vidic is on a yellow card. The referee will take no action. It was a clear foul by the Serbian.
Certainly going to have to watch himself, Vidic. Had a very, very uncomfortable game. Most unlike him, you know, he usually times his tackles, gets them right. Yes, we know he commits fouls now and again, but his tackling, his defensive abilities are excellent. But not today, they're not. He's not having a very good time at all.
If you've ever studied Nemanja Vidic, he always seems to get himself into problems when he has to turn to his left as the ball is played forward. Headed away by Vidic this time, just inside the penalty area. An ambitious volley by Scott Parker midway through the Manchester United half, and it goes out of play for a West Ham goal. Sorry, a Manchester United goal kick. 5 minutes into the second half, West Ham still lead 2-0.
Shows what they think of Scott Parker here, doesn't it? That was a volleyed goal, 100 yards wide up into the stand, and I'm sure some people clapped it.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. He's held in such high esteem. He can do no wrong. Valencia heads it forward. Rooney heads it back to the Ecuadorian international. Plays it back towards Fabio. That was a little bit loose, but Fabio kept it in play. Makes a strong run. Referee plays the advantage, keeping the game flowing. Rooney out towards Hernandez. Hernandez fires over the cross from the right. Needed to be better distributed because there were players running in the penalty area, but it was fired over too heavy, out for a West Ham throw. Still no sign of that Manchester United reaction just yet. 5 minutes into the second half, and what a vital game. You know, Arsenal of course playing at 5:30 later on at home to Blackburn, but also when you consider the bottom half of the table as well, with so many supporters, I'm sure, listening to 5 Live, maybe going to Everton if you're an Aston Villa supporter. Vital game at St James's Park. Newcastle against Wolves, West Brom of course against Liverpool, and Wigan against Spurs, and this will have a massive effect on the bottom half of the table. As Mike was saying, West Ham have the potential to climb up to 13th if they can hold on to the 3 points, leading by 2-0 before those 3 o'clock matches. Valencia on the right hand side, up against Bridge. He works over the cross, headed away by Da Costa. He hasn't missed much in the air, and that's not easy for me to say. There's a Gibson to Valencia, looking to try and get it out to him wide every opportunity. Looks to try and run Wayne Bridge. Bridge did well, stuck at his task well, gets the challenge in, and then in fact Valencia takes his eye off the ball and it runs out of play for a throw. But full credit to Wayne Bridge as we go back to Mumbai and Mark Pugach.
2 overs to go. Sri Lanka 248 for 6. Kularaseka run out for 32. Jayawardene a brilliant century of 84 balls with 13 fours. He's made it look so easy. 248 for 6 Sri Lanka with 2 overs to go.
Thank you, Mark. And as soon as that innings closes, we'll be back. Final 12 deliveries on Sports Extra, and of course the Indian reply for the Cricket World Cup final, brought to you on the BBC. Here we are on 5 Live at Upton Park in East London. West Ham United 2, Manchester United 0 in the Barclays Premier League. The first of our commentaries this afternoon on 5 Live. This is Jakobsen. Triangular passing movement between Noble and Hitzelsperger, back to the right back. Hitzelsperger, the German, shields the ball away from Carrick, plays the ball forward to O'Neill, coming in off the right touchline, running infield now at the heart of the Manchester United defence to Barr in the penalty area, Barr in towards O'Neill, couldn't take it as he tried to turn and roll away from his marker. Cole was in close proximity. Manchester United clear. Gibson to Park plays it forward, maybe a bit of space here for Manchester United to come forward. Da Costa, who's had a fine game, slides in, throw to the visitors. West Ham still lead 2-0.
Very good defending that by Da Costa. You're quite right, he's had a very good game. Took possession off Rooney so easily there.
The next goal is vital in this game. West Ham, of course, looking for the third to try and take it out of Manchester United's reach. But if the league leaders can reduce the arrears, it will give them hope. As Gibson's back heel buys a bit of space and room for Valencia. Carrick in the centre circle. Manchester United playing from right to left. Rooney onto his right foot, charged down by Parker. Not afraid to put his body where it hurts. It was a poor clearance though, straight towards Carrick. Giggs opens up the West Ham defence, looking for Hernandez. Green read it well. Good anticipation by the goalkeeper. Smothers the ball.
Yeah, at the moment Manchester United are on top of the game there. need everybody to be, West Ham need everybody to be alert. Robert Green certainly was there.
It's amazing, isn't it, when the domestic action returns after international break, you always have that potential for an upset, don't you? The big teams, you can be caught cold with various international players coming back in dribs and drabs.
There's no doubt about that. I mean, I wouldn't say it's like the season starting again, but that break does just eat in, doesn't it? And at times, you know, you get... I can understand managers complaining about international football, but come on, it's a fact of life, and that's how it is. And I can understand some come back, you know, they've got out well, and they don't pick up the rhythm again. They don't pick it up quickly.
And also, as you and Mike Ingham with Mark Chapman ahead of the game was saying, he's also got this distraction of the Champions League. Arsenal don't have that distraction, and you can't help but feel that the team selection today was with one eye on Chelsea on Wednesday night.
Oh, there's no doubt about that in my mind.
Carrick forward, again Da Costa, making sure he's there ahead of Wayne Rooney, and then Noble spins into the centre circle away from Carrick, carries the ball, plays it towards O'Neill, Cole's ahead of him, Jakobsen's coming forward, a marauding run from right back, Cole drifts in field, has support from Parker, O'Neill has kept the width on the right hand side, Parker runs towards Giggs, then lays it off towards O'Neill, it's a diagonal ball, played in, headed away by Vidic, Rooney midway through his own half, and now Carrick bring the ball forward, looks up, finds Hernandez just over the halfway line on the left hand side. Manchester United playing from right to left, still trailing by 2-0. Giggs over the halfway line to Hernandez. Opson comes out of position, Da Costa was there once again, Partlow takes it away from him, Park's cross will come off the legs of Da Costa for a corner to Manchester United. It is a pivotal game, and certainly we're reaching a pivotal stage in this match where Manchester United are looking to try and get the equaliser and still have time to try and salvage something from this, where they trail by 2-0. Valencia will place the ball down for the corner kick on the near side, the left. West Ham have everybody back bar Bar. In it comes now, crosses it across everybody inside, a crowded penalty area. Eventually it was Jakobsen who hooks the ball away, facing his own goal, right across the face of goal. Rooney, right corner of the penalty area. Good header away by Upson, collected by Parker. And Parker tries to turn, almost runs into trouble. He did run into trouble, but he wins it back from Park, and his strength carries it away from the South Korean. Little flick inside by Bar, almost came off. Da Costa loses out in the challenge by Hernandez, but he was fouled by the Mexican. And that'll be a free kick to West Ham.
I don't think Sir Alex Ferguson will be too happy with that decision.
No.
I think Hernandez did use, and swung him round a little bit there, but it was then, if he'd been allowed to go, it was a direct run onto the goal, and you'd have backed Hernandez there. So I would imagine there's a frown on Sir Alex's face.
11 minutes into the second half on 5 Live. Parker holding off Jakobsen midway through his own half, finds Vidic deep inside the Manchester United half, over the head of Rooney. Upson plays it forward to Parker. Parker looks up, Cole has made the run, Vidic stops it with his head. Giggs now left back, slides in, catches Noble in the process. Referees looked at that one, play continues, and it's Wayne Rooney running at the heart of the West Ham defence, and there is Scott Parker, who typifies his season. Magnificent, running back, gets the challenge in on Rooney, and then slides on his knees with his momentum. And West Ham now can come forward, and the shot by Barr on the run 30 yards out from goal strikes Vidic. Noble is back on his feet. Valencia towards Rooney. The game is very open at the minute. Still West Ham lead by 2-0. This is Rooney to Park. O'Neill slides in, wins the ball, fair challenge, good challenge. Noble over the top looking towards Barr. Smalling has to come across, heads it down, has time to control the ball and plays it forward to Carrick. Lively atmosphere inside Upton Park as well. Everybody inside this stadium knows the importance of who scores the next goal, and the West Ham fans also sense that their team might require this vocal backing. As a free kick is given away for a foul on Rooney, there's a goal at Ellen Road. Ian Brown.
Lively here as well, because Leeds have taken the lead against the 10 men of Nottingham Forest 5 minutes into the second half. It's Leeds 1, Forest 0. Eric Lehigh, the American fullback on loan from Aston Villa, with a cross into the near post, controlled by Johnny Howson, and the Leeds captain finished cleverly from close range. It's Leeds 1, Nottingham Forest down to 10 men, 0.
Thank you, Ian. Da Costa was shown the yellow card while we've been away in West Yorkshire. Here we are in East London, and we've got some team news from the Potteries. Stoke against Chelsea, Carlo Ancelotti is starting with both Drogba and Anelka. Torres is on the bench. We'll have commentary from 3 o'clock on 5 Live with John Murray. Manchester United trailing 2-0, have a free kick. Giggs left-footed into the penalty area. De Costa's there, comes out towards Rooney, heads it back into the penalty area, flicked on by Vidic. Smalling tries to turn, taken away from him by De Costa. And in fact the last touch came off Smalling. That'll be a goal kick.
Well, certainly Manchester United are pushing on, looking for that first goal to get themselves back into the game. West Ham, though, get opportunities simply by breaking then at Manchester United. So it's a very interesting game at the moment.
Ball played up towards Demba Ba, couldn't control it. Vidic holds him off, sees it back towards Kuszczak. Kuszczak's clearance met by the shin of Parker, who charges forward to get ahead of Park. Manchester United launch it long, headed back towards Park, running forward now. Park inside to Hernandez. Hernandez slips inside the penalty area, inside right channel, then plays it back towards Valencia. Outside the box, Valencia waits, held up by Bridge. Valencia still trying to shuffle away from Bridge, but Bridge stands his ground, then makes the sliding challenge. Then he was fouled, was he, by Valencia? Yes, he was. Spotted again by Lee Mason. But again, Bridge has done well. I thought he was excellent against Tottenham a fortnight ago, and he's doing well again this afternoon here in the sunshine.
What he did well there, Ian, he stayed on his feet. He didn't make any effort as if he was going to come in and tackle, and therefore Valencia could nip out of the way. He literally stayed still on his feet and said, look, it's up to you, beat me. And once it was tried, he got the tackle in. It's very good defending, staying on your feet, leaving the onus on the attacker to show you where he's going.
Hitzelsperger forward to Cole. The voice of Graham Taylor with us here on 5 Live as West Ham United continue to preserve their 2-goal cushion that they have over the league leaders, with Nani and Berbatov and Michael Owen all warming up down beneath us. Already they've brought on Hernandez as a half-time substitute, but half an hour remains and Manchester United still have 2 goals to claw back ahead of Chelsea's trip to Stoke and Arsenal at home to Blackburn. Giggs wants to take the free kick quickly. It's a diagonal ball towards Hernandez. Hernandez gets away from his marker Bridge. Sliding in was Park again. Another good challenge by Scott Parker. Excellent play by the inspirational figure. And here is Bridge to Noble this time. Noble forward towards Carlton Cole. Lays it back. Noble will take it away from Parker instead and finds Jakobsen. They've been so much better in the second half of the season. Almost makes a mockery when you think back to mid-December when they said it was one win required to save the job of Avram Grant, who then of course came under increased pressure again in January and back in November when they played Wigan. That was save our season. Well, they're doing more than saving their season now. They really have momentum behind them, West Ham United. Plenty of vocal backing too, as Jakobsen on this right hand side to take the throw. Manchester United have been sluggish this afternoon by and large. They've got some defending to do now as Jakobsen with a throw on the right, flicked on, comes out towards Hitzelsperger. Valencia maybe caught the German there in his attempt to clear. Gibson plays it forward to Rooney. Rooney lifts it over the head of De Costa. Rooney now looking to get away from De Costa towards Hernandez. Hernandez left corner of the penalty area, back inside towards Rooney. De Costa recovered exceptionally well and cuts it out for a throw.
De Costa did excellently there, because what was missed out there, Rooney tried to pull him back and committed a foul on him, but he was still able to keep his feet and get the clearance in.
Berbatov's going to be coming on now as well. This is Park. Park towards Valencia, central position, works it towards Fabio, the right back, into the penalty area on that far side. Fabio's cross, headed away again by De Costa. Poor clearance though this time by Demba Ba, but West Ham managed to survive. Carrick to Smalling on the halfway line. Smalling will come forward, then to Gibson, across towards Carrick once again. Carrick to Park. Park central position, runs into trouble in the shape of Parker. Ball breaks towards Gibson, plays it quickly out towards the right hand side. Valencia once again hasn't really had the same threat as he did in the first half, but this is Hernandez trying to turn, almost turns in towards Noble. Out towards Valencia once again. West Ham keep their shape. They can't find a way through Manchester United. Carrick to Giggs. Carrick once again. Carrick comes forward. Sliding challenge made by Noble, gives away a free kick. Direct free kick as well.
These last 5 minutes have all been Manchester United. We've got a free kick now in a very dangerous position.
Ji-sung Park, this is his first start since Boxing Day, his first appearance since Boxing Day, and Berbatov is replacing him as we go to Mumbai at the end of the Sri Lankan innings. Mark Pugach.
Sri Lanka 274 for 6. Jayawardene a brilliant 103 not out. Pereira a lusty 22 at the end. 63 from the last 5 overs. The power play overs 91 from the last 10. Sri Lanka the favourites, 275 to win India.
Thank you, Mark. Here at Upton Park, West Ham still lead 2-0, but this is a free kick with 64 minutes played to Manchester United. It's right of centre. It'll either be the left foot of Giggs or the right foot of Rooney. It is a direct free kick. Rooney runs up now, right-footed, and scores! Brilliant free kick by Wayne Rooney. Robert Green at full stretch, couldn't keep it out away to his left. Could the fight back be on for the league leaders? West Ham 2, Manchester United 1.
Well, there's the class that we all know that Rooney possesses. Stationary ball, nobody within 10 yards, and he can now bend it round, and boy does he bend it round that wall. Right in, and beats Green in the goal very, very comfortably. First class free kick, 2-1. Game really on now.
And there's been a goal at Ellen Road in the Championship. Ian Brown.
And looking very good now for Leeds. It's Leeds 2, Nottingham Forest 0. The second goal came from a corner. Bromby's header back off the post, but there was Becchio, the man from Argentina, to snap up the rebound with his own header. His 18th goal of the season. Remember, Forest reduced to 10 men when Cohen was sent off, and Leeds have scored twice in the second half to lead 2-0 after an hour.
Thank you, Ian. This is Berbatov, the substitute. Berbatov just outside the D, finds Valencia inside the penalty area. Valencia back to Gibson. Gibson's shot deflected for a corner. West Ham United can't get out. They're on the back foot. Manchester United now just cranking up the pressure. Valencia will go across towards that far side. They did it against Aston Villa in November. They did it Blackpool back in January. And they're threatening a comeback here now against West Ham. Valencia with the away swing, flicked onto the near post by Carrick. Goal kick. The angle was extremely tight. Graham Taylor.
Well, I think Hernandez, more than anyone else, has played a major difference. He's been so lively. He's made himself available in the channels, coming short, be prepared to run for the ball over the top. They never had that in the first half at all. And Rooney looks more comfortable playing off people as opposed to being the main central player himself. But West Ham are really going to have to concentrate, stick at it, because for the last 10 to 15 minutes Manchester United have dominated this game.
Piquion's going to be coming on for West Ham. Avram Grant is looking at making a change, maybe just as an outlet if nothing else for his pace, because they have been penned back by Manchester United in these last 5 or 10 minutes. 66.5 minutes played here. Fascinating end to the game that we've got, with Wayne Rooney's brilliant free kick, curling effort, superb. And that takes him to 99 Premier League goals for Manchester United. Not a bad scoring record either against West Ham. It's now 6 in 9 Premier League games against the Hammers. Here is Hernandez. Hernandez to Berbatov. They were sluggish in the first half. They don't look sluggish now with Hernandez on and Berbatov and of course Rooney.
Well, they've moved Rooney out now to the left flank, leaving Berbatov and Hernandez as a partnership up front.
Long ball downfield by Green. That was handball, surely by Smalling. Struck his hand. Referee Lee Mason says no. Got away with it, I think. The referee must have thought it just wasn't in an unnatural position, his arm, but it clearly did seem to strike his hand, that ball. Anyway, we're midway through the second half here on 5 Live. West Ham 2, Manchester United 1. What a finish that affects both ends of the table. And to take you through to full time, here's Mike Ingham.
Well, it really is. It's the first part of a 3-part day, really, in the Premier League, as West Ham make their change, and Piquion, as Ian was saying, is coming on for Carlton Cole. And just to pick up on Rooney, if he goes on to score his 100th Premier League goal for Manchester United in this game, well, it'll turn out to be one of the more important goals in the 100, I think, because it'll get United back into this game, and they'll take something from it when it looked very unlikely at half-time. West Ham 2, Manchester United 1. Chelsea waiting for this one, of course. Arsenal 2. Manchester United showing some resolve eventually now to come back into this game. Sir Alex Ferguson helplessly watches on here in the director's box. In the sunshine, it's Parker of West Ham finding the fullback Jakobsen. West Ham are playing from left to right in this second half. Now a nice little touch from Demba Ba. Oh, and then a misunderstanding. I thought he thought Hitzelsberger was going to go forward. Manchester United, they're a little short in midfield now, but they've got the firepower as Hernandez, who has made such a big difference, can't get hold of it this time. And West Ham now with Noble, who put away those 2 penalties. We've had 2 penalties and a free kick in this match, and West Ham are leading 2-1 as the ball is flicked beautifully now from left to right. O'Neill of West Ham. Rooney's now back in the left back position, puts his arms down, makes sure there's no handball here. Rooney tackles well, and the ball is still in play as both players fall off the field. Rooney was appealing for a free kick. Ryan Giggs has been caught in possession, and it's Jakobsen, but Rooney's going to help United out once more defensively, and then he hits it straight to the halfway line, and West Ham once more have it. Giggs, appeal for handball, not given. Rooney still back inside his own half, and now Giggs with the outside of his foot finds Berbatov, and Berbatov with silky skills lifts the ball over to Costa. There's only Hernandez in the penalty area. Now Berbatov's there. Berbatov hits the side netting off the goalkeeper and wins a corner.
Well, we saw a little bit there, certainly some scrapping and fighting for the ball here. Noble really very intense, and Rooney, and then a break there, and actually Berbatov showed some great skill, and I think he was going for a shot, right in at that near post. I think it was a definite effort. Robert Green got his hand to it, corner.
It's a short corner. All the Manchester United fans here today are behind Robert Green's goal, willing their team forward here. Rooney 25 yards out, tries to bend one, and it goes into those Manchester United fans with much relief for West Ham, a goal kick. Robert Green to take it. So we're just 45 minutes away from the 3 o'clock games, and if Manchester United do lose this game, well, it really will open things up at the top of the Premier League. We won't really, though, truly be able to put all of this into perspective until after the Arsenal-Blackburn game, but Manchester United still believe they can get something, obviously, from this one against a transformed side. West Ham, they really have bucked up their ideas, tighter at the back, stronger in midfield, sharper up front, but now on the back foot as Manchester United win the ball and Giggs gives it straight back to Da Costa. It's Noble. O'Neill is calling for it down this near side in front of his manager Avram Grant. It's a bit slow and they look a bit laboured at the moment, West Ham. They may need more new players in the game. Scott Parker now just inside the Manchester United half, plays the ball into the unmarked Noble. Noble now, and then Piqué on, and now it's Hitzelsberger. Ball played into the area, and this time it's a push on Vidic, who is lucky to be still in the game. Of course, he could easily have been sent off in the first half. Free kick quickly taken by Manchester United. Back to that really big game in the Championship, Leeds and Nottingham Forest. Ian Brown.
And the 10 men of Forest are back in the game. It's Leeds 2, Nottingham Forest 1. The substitute Gareth McCleary curling in an absolute beauty from the edge of the penalty area. We still have 25 minutes left. Leeds 2, Nottingham Forest 1.
Thank you, Ian. Don't forget Sri Lanka 274 for 6. That will take some getting by India in the Cricket World Cup final. More on that throughout the day, as now Manchester United, West Ham conceding ground here. Manchester United themselves looking a bit slow in their build-up. Vidic on the halfway line, exchanges passes with Rooney. Now it's gone on to Berbatov, one of the United substitutes. West Ham are backing off here dangerously. It's gone to Rooney. Rooney's tackled, but United still sweep the ball down the right-hand side. Valencia clips it in. This time Hernandez can't reach it in the air, but West Ham don't clear it very well. Fabio finds Valencia. 2-1 to West Ham here at Upton Park. Manchester United building edge of the West Ham area. Valencia this time with his left foot. Rooney gets away from his marker. Shot, brilliant, brilliant goal. Wayne Rooney, 100 Premier League goals for Manchester United. Absolute class there from the England man. A year on from the injury against Bayern Munich that set him back so much. That is Rooney at his absolute best. He snatched something from nothing, and it's now 2-2.
Great goal. No doubt about that. And when that cross came in, he knew exactly what he was doing. First to the ball, took it past the defender, next shot, corner of the net. An excellent finish, excellent goal, 2-2.
He gets a pat from Hernandez. He takes up his position again on this left-hand side. He's been playing at left back as well in this game, giving absolutely everything for the cause. And who knows, Manchester United could even go on and win this game now. West Ham are struggling here. They were 2-0 up at half-time. They will point to the fact that they think Vidic should have been sent off. West Ham now need to move up the gears once more. Picky on to Parker, and now to the far side. West Ham 2, Manchester United 2. Manchester United won't be content with the draw, though. They'll want to push on with games running out to get all 3 points to put the pressure on Chelsea and Arsenal, and things change every second now at this stage of the season. Throw into West Ham, really good value for their half-time lead. Now Rooney with a header on the edge of his own penalty area, and he's put the side back into the game here. First of all, the free kick, and then that vintage finish from Wayne Rooney, who's now on the ball once more in the centre, driving forward. Perhaps a hat-trick for him. This time he can't get it past Upson, and it's West Ham now looking to try and break. But they're looking a little wary. All the running from the first half. Offside given now against a laboured West Ham team, and a free kick to Manchester United. Graham Taylor.
Well, this is certainly where you want your supporters behind you. The disappointment of being 2-0 up and coming to 2-2. Then if a little mistake is made and the supporters get on your back, it starts to change the whole atmosphere of the game.
That match a year ago this weekend, by the way, when United lost for the last time at home at Old Trafford against Chelsea. Rooney missed that game because he'd just been injured against Bayern Munich in the first leg of that Champions League match. And here he is now taking his 7-9 today in the Premier League. And it's Dimitar Berbatov twisting dangerously on the edge of the area. Shot is half saved by Green. It's still inside the penalty area. Upson's header drops straight to the feet of Valencia. And West Ham are hanging on here to try and get anything from the game. West Ham 2, Manchester United 2. It's Carrick now to Gibson. Giggs available down the left-hand side. Here comes Ryan Giggs for Manchester United, just inside the penalty area, and still Giggs. Dangerous ball into Rooney. West Ham don't clear it. It comes back to Giggs once more, who happily settles for the corner. And Manchester United are threatening now to take all 3 points in this game. We still have 15 minutes to go. Rooney on the charge. He thought that Giggs was preparing to take the corner. He made his run to the near post. Now Vidic goes forward, and Rooney lurks on the edge of the penalty area. Tactical reshuffle here by Manchester United. Corner kick to Giggs. Good header away defensively by Da Costa, but Rooney's the first to react, and Manchester United are quicker at the moment to the ball than West Ham. It's Rooney, ball in, headed away by Upson this time for West Ham, but West Ham are being trapped here by Manchester United. A poor tired header from Parker, and it's Vidic for United. Dangerous ball in, Hernandez with a header. Danger here for West Ham. Eventually the ball will drop kindly to Picky on, and all he's done is smash that. In fact, it turns out to be a terrific ball. If Demba Ba can get hold of it, he has. Good control from Demba Ba, but nobody around to help him. Now Noble onto Hitzelsberger and Parker, and suddenly there are rare moments for West Ham inside the Manchester United half. 2-2. It's Picky on just down below us on the right, taking on Gibson. In comes a dangerous ball, but Kuszczak, he's almost lost it. Holds on to it second time round.
Dropped it there. I think on moments like this we ought to be seeing more of Thomas Hitzelsberger. We haven't seen very much of him at all this half, and the team desperately needs that middle of the park. Certainly Parker and Noble have worked their socks off in there, and I think Thomas Hitzelsberger needs to give them more support.
It could, of course, though, still be a day when Chelsea and Arsenal make up ground on Manchester United. At the moment, Manchester United only taking 1 point from this game. It's 2-2 at Upton Park, and we're into the last 15 minutes. Jonathan Spector is coming on, we think, in a moment. Former Manchester United player, the American who scored 2 goals here against United in that Carling Cup game. Gibson now. Gibson for Fabio, and they're sitting too deep here. West Ham. But they're being pushed back all the way here. And it's once more Fabio down the right, getting away easily from his marker. Fabio tricks one defender, gets the cross and appeal for handball against that. Oh, it's given! Appeal for handball is given against Upson, I think it was. And the penalty's been given by the referee here, Lee Mason. Well, West Ham had 2 penalties at that end in front of the Sir Trevor Brookings stand. And now the comeback could be complete here by the comeback king. Wayne Rooney's got 2. He's got the ball. He could be going home with the ball. It could be a hat-trick day for him. He's taken his tally to 100 Premier League goals. West Ham are still disputing it. Upson and O'Neill. Lee Mason will not change his mind. Rooney now preparing here to try and give Manchester United the most unlikely 3-2 lead here at Upton Park, having been 2-0 down at half-time. Rooney's taking his time. He's probably faced Robert Green many times on England duty, taking penalties. But nothing like the pressure that he faces here now. Rooney has 2. If he makes it 3, Manchester United could be heading for 3 points at Upton Park. Rooney jogs up and down and scores simply, easily, runs to the Manchester United fans. What a second half it's been for Wayne Rooney. 3-2 to Manchester United, and all 3 to him.
Well, I think, Mike, that the referee has taken the advice from his assistant. I think it was the assistant that flagged it, that gave the penalty, that said, and I think he's gone on that. Looking at it, I have seen no replay at all. It looked rather harsh to me. I haven't seen a replay of the game, of the incident, but it looked a very harsh decision, and the referee took the advice of his assistant.
All the talking points have been in that half of the field in this game. In the first half, we had penalties awarded for West Ham. First of all, a handball by Evra, then a trip by Vidic, and then we had Vidic very, very close to being sent off. Perhaps some referees might have even sent him off, but he had judged perhaps that Demba Ba wasn't going straight on goal. And now in the second half, that penalty given to Manchester United, as now Berbatov gets away from Upson. He's got a long way to go, but he can make it 4-2. But he's just been checked by Da Costa. We'll get a Leeds in a moment. Manchester United have pulled it round again here today. Berbatov still inside the penalty area and still has the ball. And Gibson wants it. Oh, Gibson hits it high into the crowd, and back to Ian Brown at Leeds.
It's now Leeds 3, Forest 1, so the 2-goal cushion is back for Leeds. Max Gradle getting the 3rd goal. Sumptuous volley from the edge of the penalty area. 16 minutes left. Forest down to 10 men and trailing Leeds 3-1 now.
Well, we're going to have a double change made by Avram Grant in a moment. Obina and Robbie Keane about to come on. Still talking around us here in the press box about that penalty as West Ham looking to try and get the ball into the Manchester United penalty area. But United have stepped it up here when they had to. Challenged by their manager, I'm sure, at half-time. 2-0 down they were to West Ham. But they've come back with a Wayne Rooney hat-trick. And he's now taken his Premier League tally for the season to double figures, 10. But in his Manchester United career, 101 Premier League goals. Wayne Bridge now of West Ham into the area. Flicked on, but Vidic is there. Avram Grant will talk about that, I'm sure, after the game. If his team lose this match, should Vidic have been sent off, would have then missed 3 games. Ball into the area, easy save for Kuszczak, and the ball just isn't going out of play at the moment, so that these new West Ham players can come on. Any more to say on the penalty, Graham?
Well, I still think that it was a harsh decision. Once again, I have not seen a replay of it, so I can only go on that first reaction. I just thought, harsh decision given by the assistant referee. I don't think the referee gave that to start with at all.
West Ham 2, Manchester United 3. Arsenal fans, Chelsea fans would have been jumping at half-time, but it's all turned around here in the East End. There's a long ball now for Manchester United, who are threatening to score again here. Valencia gallops forward. And just to repeat, I mean, Manchester United have been playing in this second half with Ryan Giggs at left back. We don't know if there's an injury to Evra, but they've really had to patch up their side in advance of the Champions League game. Now come the changes. And O'Neill is the first man to go off. And he'll be replaced by Obina. And then the other change is Noble to be replaced by Robbie Keane. So we've got 4 forwards out there really now for West Ham. Obina, Piquion, and Keane and Demba Ba as well. So we have 8 minutes to go plus time to be added on. West Ham 2, Manchester United 3. The game completely turning around here. Not for the first time this season. Away from home, Manchester United, when it mattered, have battled back. But now Fabio out of position. But Smalling gets his head to the ball as the cross comes in from the left-hand side. From Hitzelsberger, we haven't seen very much from him in the second half. And the ball is out of play. And of course the other thing we should say, we mustn't get too obsessed with the title race. This is not good news for West Ham at the bottom as they start to run out of fixtures. 3-2 down. Appeal for handball now against Smalling. Not given. Appeal from a couple of the West Ham players, and then West Ham give the ball away, and Rooney's got it. And Rooney's still full of running. He's taking on Da Costa, who's just forced him wide. Rooney checks on the edge of the penalty area. Hernandez is there, and so too is Berbatov. Berbatov has the ball and then lays it to the left, and nobody's picked up Ryan Giggs. Giggs with a cross shot, stabbed into the far post by Hernandez. Manchester United surely have the 3 points. West Ham ball watching. Hernandez strikes again. West Ham 2, Manchester United 4. Comeback complete.
Goal scorer's position there. The shot came in through a defender's legs, trapping the back post. Just a tap in for Hernandez. 4-2, Manchester United. What a comeback.
Well, there's a long way to go yet in this season. I just wonder whether we might be looking back on this Saturday lunchtime in early April as being the day Manchester United really reclaimed their title. This has been some turnaround here by Manchester United with a patched up team. 3 from Rooney, 1 from Hernandez. West Ham squabbling a little bit now down there, and we were talking about them possibly moving up 4 places at the bottom end. 1 or 2 fans leaving now. I notice in the Bobby Moore stand away from our right. They won't be moving up 4 places unless they can do something really dramatic now in these closing minutes. Up goes Piquillon, tries to get a header in. Kuszczak, who's had nothing to do really in the second half, saves. And now Giggs, as Nani prepares to come on to be the 3rd and final change. And you know, doesn't that sum up Sir Alex Ferguson and Manchester United? They're leading 4-2, but they're going to send on another attacking player.
That's Manchester United. I think the reference we've made to it such a lot. That is what Manchester United are about. They're attacking football.
As West Ham lose their way once more. I was going to make the point in the second half that, you know, goal difference, which could still be important, was suffering here for United. They'd lost 2 goals in the first half, but now they've boosted themselves by another 2 goals. And so Arsenal and Chelsea have to concentrate on what they have to do this afternoon. But in this 12:45 game, against all expectation really, because Manchester United looked a beaten side at half-time. It's 4-2 to the visitors. There'll be long debate though about Nemanja Vidic still being on the field as he comes in to try and win the ball on the edge of the area, and Manchester United clear. West Ham have been forced back in this second half, too deep. Shot from distance from Da Costa. Manchester United really lively on the break. Berbatov, who's just linking play brilliantly, was there once more. Nani waits to come on. Berbatov's playing down the centre. Hernandez down the right and Rooney to the left. I wonder whether Rooney will be the player perhaps to come off to be saved for the Champions League now, having scored a hat-trick. It's Piquillon near side the West Ham right. Jakobsen into Hitzelsberger. Oh, very lazy pass from Hitzelsberger. And Berbatov, with that languid movement, picks up the ball slowly and then shows great pace. And Da Costa struggling to get back here. Now Berbatov holds it up just inside the area. Looks for the run which came in from midfield from Gibson. West Ham with a very tired clearance. Give the ball once more back again to Dimitar Berbatov, who with a back heel finds Gibson. Gibson of Manchester United. They have the possession. They have the lead. They are 4-2 ahead here as Giggs finds Carrick. Carrick to Gibson. This time it's given away by Gibson. And we're going to take you straight back to Mumbai and Mark Pugach.
Hammer blow for India, Mike. Sehwag out, second ball of the innings. LBW to Malinga, kept a little bit low, was going to hit middle and leg. He asked for the review, but it was so out. 0 for 1, needing 275 to win.
Thank you, Mark. Sehwag, who gave India such momentum at the start of their innings in the semi-final, then out. Rooney was the man to come off. No surprise there, really, with the Champions League quarter-final. He's done his stuff here today, Rooney. People saying in the build-up to this week and the game, perhaps not the same player that he was before the injury a year ago. Well, he certainly responded here today with those 3, especially the second goal, which was Rooney at his very best, wasn't it, Graham?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've been one of those players that said that he's not yet performing as he used to do, but certainly you get a hat-trick. You can't deny that.
Here's a chance perhaps for West Ham United. The ball threaded into the penalty area, not cleared. Piquillon hits the side netting. Opportunity there that not taken.
One of the things Mike would say, at the start of the game they matched up against West Ham United. Why? You're Manchester United. The change at the second half, there was no matching up at all. It was we're playing our way, and we've seen the difference, isn't it? So it did surprise me. I think we were all somewhat surprised in the first half when we saw Manchester United coming out and playing the manner they did and have the formation matching up West Ham United.
What we don't know, and we must find out, of course, is the position with Evra. Whether that was purely tactical. It seemed strange to prefer Ryan Giggs as a left back to Evra. So perhaps we have to assume that there's some sort of injury problem there, and they're protecting him. But the system has really worked in this second half. Giggs at left back, Rooney playing predominantly left-hand side, and now it's Robbie Keane getting just about his first touch. And Hitzelberger's shot in is not really cleared yet by Smalling. It's bouncing around and in the end thumped downfield by Michael Carrick. West Ham 2, Manchester United 4. 2-0 down at half-time if you're joining our commentary on 5 Live, and we're playing the last seconds of normal time, and West Ham now have to refocus if they're to stay in the Premier League next season. West Ham now can't get the ball forward. Interestingly, we've got Keane and Berbatov coming on today, both as substitutes, used to play together with distinction at Tottenham. They're now both subs for their sides, and now Hernandez wins the ball for United over on the right-hand side. And Fabio's had a good game at right back today. Fabio holds, and then still holds, and then shuffles forward because nobody from West Ham comes towards him. West Ham 2, Manchester United 4. Have to keep repeating here that West Ham led 2-0 at half-time through 2 noble penalties, though clearly had Vidic been sent off, that would have been would have had a major effect on the outcome of this game. United down to 10 men, losing their captain. So that's something to discuss later. Fourth official has indicated 4 minutes of added time. Can West Ham get something to give them at least hope here? Don't think so. Manchester United have the ball. Hernandez has done the trick again, coming off the bench. Carrick onto Valencia. He's going to play the full 90 minutes here. Gibson. Nani's waiting for his first touch. Down the left, he's got it now. Nani just moving in and taking on the defender. Edge of the penalty area. Likes to beat his man 2 or 3 times, of course, Nani, and he's going to try and do that, I think, here against Piquillon. Working his way towards the dead ball line. Then he flicks it back into Gibson in midfield. Had a much better second half, Gibson. It's Ryan Giggs now just inside the area. Good skills, and then he loses the ball. West Ham looking to get out of their own half now. Long one to this near side. Picks out Demba Ba. Keane is pointing. Demba Ba doesn't find him yet. It goes in, and it clips a Manchester United defender, and it's a cool header back by Fabio to his goalkeeper.
Yeah, certainly the excitement of going in 2-0 up at half-time. I don't think any of the West Ham supporters would expect a second half just like this, where really Manchester United have dominated from the first minute of the second half to now, which is almost the last minute.
And who knows, at the end of this day, Manchester United might even find themselves in a stronger position. We'll have to wait and see at the top of the Premier League. They're leading 4-2, and it's Hernandez once more who's been too quick for those West Ham defenders. Ball is back with Nani. Berbatov's available at the far post. And it goes. It's over Berbatov, but it drops to Valencia, whose shot is deflected away for a corner kick. Manchester United threatening to score a 5th here. Corner kick to them over on the right-hand side. All their fans over there in the sunshine applauding. And it's Antonio Valencia preparing to take the corner. Well, Avram Grant saying coming into the game he thinks he's had a raw deal this season. In terms of refereeing decisions, what will he have to say tonight? 2 decisions going against him. And here comes Valencia, taking his time over the corner. This time Vidic doesn't go forward, neither does Smalling, and the corner kick goes almost back to the halfway line. Fabio to Gibson. Shown good control in this second half, Gibson. Now it's Carrick with a ball over the defender, headed down by Berbatov, and an offside is given against Manchester United. Free kick to West Ham with, about a minute and a half to go.
Yeah. I mean, it has been complete dominance by Manchester United. The change of formation worked a great deal. They've moved the ball about and they've finished. And we all know they're capable of doing that.
Another goal at Leeds, Ian Brown.
It's now Leeds 4, Nottingham Forest 1. Max Gradle has scored his second, a close-range finish after a couple of ricochets. So Nottingham Forest down to 10 men and now soundly beaten. Still 4 minutes left, but it's Leeds 4, Forest 1.
Thanks a lot, Ian. If you're just joining our programme, by the way, we must make the point again. It's extraordinary to think that Manchester United were trailing with 17 minutes to go in this game. And now they're leading by 4-2. And West Ham look a sorry outfit at the moment. Avram Grant's going to have to pick them up from this. West Ham 2, Manchester United 4. West Ham have the ball, but they're almost looking like a team that wants the final whistle now. with about 40 seconds to go. They're going to get it then in a few seconds. What a turnaround, Graham.
Well, it has. The major thing, Ferguson's substitutions have worked. The West Ham ones certainly haven't. I don't think West Ham, they've almost became a worse team once the substitutions came on.
And Nani's won the ball very easily off West Ham, and he doesn't find Berbatov, and it's given back to goalkeeper Green. Well, Manchester United may have problems at the moment in terms of defensive resources. They're being fully stretched, but they have great firepower on the bench, of course. Berbatov, Nani coming on, and Hernandez, but the man who gets the headlines tomorrow will be Wayne Rooney for his second half hat-trick. The second goal, the equalising goal, was the best of the lot. The referee, Lee Mason, right at the heart of it, could have sent off Vidic in the first half, then gave a controversial penalty for Manchester United. The final score here, Manchester United enhancing their position at the top of the Premier League. West Ham 2, Manchester United 4.
Mike, thank you very much. Graham, how much was it, those refereeing decisions on Vidic in the United penalty, or how much was it United's momentum in the second half?
I think it was United's momentum. Yes, of course, if a player gets sent off, Scott Parker, as we're talking now, is talking to the referee. If a player gets sent off, yeah, it may make a difference, so that has to come into it. But even if that was the case, you saw the difference in the Manchester United team in the second half, Mark. It was like Manchester United should play. In the first half, as I've said, it looked as if they'd tried to match up West Ham. In the second half, that was out of the window, and they were playing like Manchester United play. Outcome, 4-2 victory.
I sense there might be a storm brewing around Wayne Rooney this afternoon. You might not be aware of it, Graham, but after he scored the third goal and went in front of the United fans, a camera was put on, a TV camera was put on him, and he swore into that TV camera twice, I'm led to believe. TV had to apologise for it, and it's now all over Twitter. Maybe it's unfair to ask you because obviously you didn't see it, but do you think that's something that will now be discussed and blown out of proportion?
Well, it's always likely to be blown out of proportion. I mean, swear words, rightly or wrongly, a lot of people would say wrongly, but they get used quite a great deal in football. Having said that, if the camera's pushed in your face, right in your face, you know, why should it be doing that? Why should the camera be being pushed right in your face? So I'm not excusing the boy, but I'm not going to make any real comment on that until I see the incident.
Exactly, and we'll see how it develops. Thank you for your company this afternoon, Graham and Mike Ingham and Ian Dennis. So at Upton Park, West Ham United 2, Manchester United 4.